one nation bound in freedom, peace and unity. Oh God of creation, direct our noble cause. Guide our leaders right, help our youth the truth to know. In love and honesty to grow and live in just and true.
Congo. No lie. President Tinubu, I beg. 30 days run challenge. 101. Tinubu! Good luck go, we miss him. Buhari go, we miss him. If Tinubu go, we miss him. Our own don't finish. I swear. If person won't buy data now, it go use like 15 minutes look option. That time, when I say Tinubu they shake. Now who they shake? Me and you. To buy crates of egg for this era will be like careless spending. With 300, if you buy mineral and egg roll, but now 300 no if you buy egg, talk less of roll. To chop single sausage shawarma now, person go dey do 2 weeks of planning. Country dey spoil dey go. One person dey one side dey shout, "My father is the best president." Better shut up. Gary wey be poor man food don turn gold. No lie. President Tinubu, I beg, do something before something do us, I beg. Tinubu.
Thank you for joining me today. We are going to be covering some of the headlines of things that I find very interesting this week. I don't know whether we've covered the Pope passing. Nobody likes people to jubilate for the death of somebody. So I hope the family and well-wishers condolences. I wish them condolences. However,
Father, we've discussed Pope was what we discussed all day. Better just keep it. Yeah,
good. So I'm just wishing them their condolences at the moment. Regarding the campaign process that is going on in Nigeria, I think they've covered that too, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe we'll touch on it.
No. That's where we are before you switch. It was only I think KJ and AY who have spoken about that. Every other person has not.
Okay, so we'll address that point. We'll start from there then. Regarding the there's also the matter of state police being put on hold, but that is even besides the point. There's a lot of issues with the Nigeria security space right now, and I gather that the chief of police, I think Inspector General, says that they are going to withdraw police guards for VIPs, and that is going to be interesting. But from what I gather, they've said this before too, that they're going to do it, but they didn't actually follow through on it. They come up with all these things just to make people feel like they are doing something. Nothing has changed in reality. There is also the matter of IMF. IMF Nigerian leaders, again, our central bank head, Cardoso, and others went to London. Obviously, they can't come to Nigeria. They went to London to talk to IMF, and they agreed that they are going to come and do something with the Nigerian economy. One thing I can assure you, whatever they are going to do, it's not going to move us anywhere. We've seen this dance over and over again. Nothing ever changes. And until we start learning that these things that our leaders are doing, it needs to stop. Oh, we can't keep. Nigerians have been conditioned to believe that their leaders travel overseas and it's okay. From my research, since 1960, no leader has traveled outside their country barely even 1 week, not to mention 2 weeks. The only one that did 2 weeks, he wasn't even the leader. He was the emperor of Japan that did 2 weeks. It's unusual. Trump hasn't even left his country once. The UK prime minister, if he leaves, 2 days is back at most. Our leaders will go and they live there. Pobia, he spends more time overseas than in his country. It's only African. If you exclude African leaders, it's only us. Other leaders don't travel overseas the way we travel. It's unusual. And it's a security risk. It's what it is telling you is that they are not governing for you. Nigerians need to be told this thing so that they understand that whenever their governments and officials keep traveling overseas, they know they are going to sell them to the highest bidder when they go overseas. And to be fair, that's what Nigerians do. So let's leave it at that. So regarding this party decamping,
Fathers, I also, please, can we find time to talk about Ibrahim Traore? I think that is even trending.
Okay, that's also fair because there has been a lot of trials, tribulation for the president of Guinea, Burkina Faso, and we'll cover it just to because I think he survived another assassination attempt being hosted by
and a U.S. general actually spoke to Congress about.
I think I would like you to. Yeah, a lot of people spoke about that. Interestingly, a lot of people spoke about
the video
this.
is trending everywhere. It's
yeah,
a video.
And there was an African American guy that was in. I wouldn't call him guy, a man that was in Nigeria. He came from America and started living in, I think, Ekiti, one of the states in Nigeria. The village. He built a house there. This stuff is settling down in Nigeria. He said that general, 4-star general, black man, that he may come across as all those things that he's reading, that they gave him to read it, that no matter what you think about him, that man will be trying to limit the damage America is doing to Africa. And this is one of the things I said before. The reason why Africa is still standing today may be because African Americans are in America there. Because if you want to, like even many Nigerians that are in America now too, can you imagine America want to attack Nigeria from America, and Nigerians feel like that is unfair? Those are Nigerians that are in the military there will cause a lot of problems. Not to mention African Americans that number in the millions in that country, they will cause a lot of problems. And that's what that American was saying. Say this general may be sounding like a sellout, but in reality, they are the ones that are trying to limit the damage of what is going on in Africa. Because tell me what is preventing them. Do we have any?
I don't think he's trying to prevent. I don't think he's trying to. But when again, he gets to my turn.
I know a lot of people. I can see Kene is already shaking his head. The truth is, I feel like without those people there, there is nothing stopping them from coming in and taking everything. We don't have anything. Nigeria doesn't even have one F-16. Something that Egypt has 200 and something of. Nigeria doesn't have one. What is stopping them from coming in? That you have to ask yourself. I've asked myself this question. Can anybody answer the question? Is there anything we can do to stop them? The only thing that can stop them is because the most powerful country in the world has about 50 million black people in there. Even if they don't know their power, but it's still there. But I will leave that for now. That's something we'll trash later. I don't think we will have enough time, actually. We have about 2 hours. Something tells me by the time we are done with Tinubu and his machination about taking over all the political parties, all this stuff the time will be gone. Okay, so now let's focus on this switching of party business. I thought there was a law in Nigeria that says If you want to switch a party, you give up your position. Why is that not being enforced? That's one. And secondly, this thing that people keep saying that Tinubu is going to be some kind of emperor, is going to control everything. I don't buy that. As a matter of fact, what I see him doing smacks of desperation. Because if you look at the people that are defecting to him, they are mostly in the south. If he doesn't need the south, why is he so keen on converting them? Why does he need them? He can still get his votes from the north. Because he's worried that he's not going to get the northern votes because of some of the things he's done in office. And I really feel bad that someone like Okowa went and joined this party, given what has happened in that southeastern region under this government. The only thing this government has done for that region is this road that they're saying they are building. And most of it is being built not even in that region. So that is something we are going to look into. I'm not buying it. I'm not buying that, oh, he's an emperor, he's going to take over everything. When the time comes, Nigerians will do to him what they do best. They will betray him when the time comes. If they see that there's a chance for some other person to take over, they will cause problem for him too. That's my take. But now you guys can, have your own say. Somebody's already saying that I should let other people talk. Can you people stop with this nonsense? I have a lot to say. Why do you keep saying that I should not talk? I like to talk about all these things too. All right, so AY, thank you for joining us. You are the first to come in, isn't it? What do you make of this thing? Because me, I'm not buying it, that Tinubu is about to be the god of gods and everything.
AY have spoken about this forefathers. Let us kill time. Let us not kill time.
Let I speak first. So
Ike is not in a good mood today. Okay, what do you make of it now? What do you think Tinubu is going to be king of kings? Take over the Oko country, everybody will be bowing down for him. Is that where we are now?
Listen, forefathers, he's not going to work anywhere, and he's not going to work in 2027. Listen, I think that there are something that we Nigerians are forgetting. The convergence of the people who are decamping to APC and their political party is people that the government of the day has their file. And also, I want to remind you that these people, they were there when they said we were 3 people tweeting in a room. Okowa was the vice presidential candidate of PDP, and the president governor was the deputy governor who became the governor of Delta State. They were beating silly. PDP and APC vote in Delta State. Labour Party vote was bigger than what the 2 parties got in Delta State. These political machineries, they were there. They were there in Edo State. They were there in River State. They were there in Akwa Ibom and Cross River State. They were there in Benue. They were there in Taraba. They were there in Plateau. They were there in Niger. Why did they switch off? If they think we don't have any power, if they think that we are stupid, or Nigerian people are stupid, why did they switch it off? They should have allowed the election to go. We wouldn't be talking what we're talking about right here now, right? So I think that there are only what these people has come now is psychological warfare. They want to defeat you even before 2027. They want to tell you that you do not have any right again to contest any election, or to even to come out to talk about you want to participate in 2027, or that they have taken over everywhere and there is no more existence of any political party in Nigeria. I tell you, my brother, don't fall for this trash, because it is all a trash. 2027. Let me not go 2027. If they think that APC has taken over Nigeria, why are they after Mr. Peter Obi, who doesn't have a structure, who cannot win a vote, who has no people following him about as his entourage? Why is everybody in the social media, in national television, in the national newspapers, in every nooks and corners of Nigeria today, all the modes of APC, it is all about Mr. Peter Obi? So, if they think that Nigerians don't have anything, Why don't they allow a free, fair playing field ground for everybody? And let us try Nigerians themselves, right? So, 2027, forefather, this will tell you what they are only after. I want to tell you that Tinubu is a strategist for wrong reasons. I see him as a coward, right? Because you have the machineries of all the apparatus of the government of the day. But upon that, you are afraid that you are going to lose the election of 2027. And that is why you have sworn that none of the political parties of the opposition can exist. What are they doing? All these things, let me tell you, all these things that is happening right now is only centered on Mr. Peter Obi, that Mr. Peter Obi will not have a platform for 2027. Because this is everything that is going on in Nigeria politically right now. My brother, it is all centered on Mr. Peter Obi, that they do not want him to have any platform, because they know if he has a platform, which he's going to have, he's not going to.
But Oga Aiko, there is another dimension that is going on here, because it looks like the southern governors are the ones joining Tinubu at a rush right now.
Well, Father, that's what I'm telling you. They were there in 2023.
Yeah, but the question is that not going to make the northerners feel a little bit more angry with the Tinubu, so that now when P2B goes and run, I'm just trying to think about the path for P2B to be able to defeat this lot. If P2B now emerges, I know for sure the Southeast, forget it. Tinubu is not going to win the Southeast, many South states. If P2B emerges again, and because now Tinubu is not as strong in the North anymore, he's going to be a lot weaker. He might be actually vulnerable. If Atiku, that crazy guy, doesn't find a way to come and throw fire into the political process again. You see what I mean? I feel like Atiku is a big problem in the Nigerian space.
I agree with you. I'm coming to the issue of Atiku. Yes, I'm coming to issue of Atiku. Listen, my Bible tells me that the wages of sin is.
Oh, you muted yourself. Yeah, muted her.
Yeah, okay. So what I was saying, that my Bible tells me that the wages of sin is death. And that is what is happening to PDP and Atiku. For the fact that they betrayed what they agreed in their constitution in 2023, PDP shall never know peace. And Atiku will never know peace. He can never rule Nigeria anymore, because he lost the opportunity to do what was right, that he was supposed to do in 2023. So, for him right now, he has left, PDP has left Atiku. He's looking for Maja, he's looking for Obi. You know, one thing people don't understand who Mr. Peter Obi is, that this man is a politician. This man is a raw politician. He knows what he's doing. The last thing I am telling you here today is for Obi to become a deputy to anybody in the present day Nigeria. It's not going to work, my brother. It's not even in agenda at all. Because we have the people. We have the vote. We have the Nigerians following us. It's no more about political party. But it is about, the question is, ask yourself, Mr. Forefathers, these people that are decamping to APC, what are you going to tell the Nigerian electorate in 2027 that gave you the reason why you have decided to jump ship? Example of Delta State. So I think that whatever politics that is being played right now, I don't want Nigerians to be defeated, because this is...
You have muted yourself again, oh. You want to keep your phone a bit further away.
Okay, yeah. You can hear me now?
Yeah, loud and clear.
Okay, so they want you to surrender before 2027. They want to tell you that there is no space for you. So all these governors that you see and members of the House of Representatives, you see that are jumping ship, is because they have their file. They will come to you and tell you. Okowa, for example, we know how much accusation, 1.3 trillion. right? So we know, and the governor of Delta State is his boy. So
Can I ask you one question though?
yeah,
Because I see a correlation with something, events that occurred recently. Could it be after they saw what the president was able to do with River State, like trying to go after Fubara the way he did, the others, he put the fear of God in all of them. They started running in because it looks like just after that event, that's when this rush started occurring to join APC.
remember he went to France and stayed 2 weeks, and after 2 weeks he fly to London for 1 week. That is where all these governors and all these people you see now that did we know that Fubara went to meet Tinubu in London? It was after the meeting that we Nigerians knew that Fubara flew to London to meet your president. So this man knows that the North are after him, and the North are not just after him; they are not hiding it, and they are ready to do anything to make sure that it doesn't come back. So
Yeah.
what this man is trying to do now to see if he can use anything to say that I am holding the South.
Yeah, he needs the South this time. He needs the South.
He's not going to get it, my brother. I just gave you a practical example. We said there were 3 people tweeting. We don't have a structure. All these people that we're talking, we can, if we didn't rig election of River State, will Tinubu be president today?
Yeah, but see, guys, see, what if they create anarchy? These are governors. They have police. They have everything. They create anarchy on the ground. The president is there to give them cover. You see what we are dealing with here? We are dealing with a serious...
You are correct, but remember,
predicament.
forefathers, experience is the best teacher. Never you be thinking that what happened in 2023 is what is going to happen in 2027. Don't believe that. Nigerians has advanced. We have learned so much. Nigerians has learned what happened in 2023. I am telling you, take it to the bank. They deceived us in 2023. Our eyes are wide open. Our eyes are on Nigeria and INEC. You see the game that they are going to come with 2027. We are going to play that game. We are going to dance the music. Anything that they decide they're going to do in 2027, my brother forefathers, today is 26 or 21 of April. Mark my word, we are going to dance that music anyhow that they want it in 2027. It's not going to be. It's not going to be what they're thinking about, because Nigerians has learned a lot. We have learned our lessons. So I don't want any genuine Nigerian who is praying for a better Nigeria to be defeated by what these established politicians are doing, jumping from one place to another, jumping to. But let me end with this, forefather. Why do you think? What do you think is the problem of Labour Party today? Is APC. Even after the Supreme Court judgment, the chairman and his group are still saying they're not going to go anywhere. What do you think is the problem?
Yeah.
The whole political party, the crisis in all the whole opposition political party, what do you think is the problem? For Labour Party, Mr. Peter Obi came out and told them that, listen, if any coalition must be in Labour Party. And 2027 is not going to be passed by. You pass, you use somebody's name, become an elected member of Labour Party. This time around, it shall be members of the party. So that's why they are fighting and doing everything humanly possible that Aburi and his gang will continue to destroy, will continue to make sure that the Labour Party does not survive. And the end up, their program is that all these political parties might end up not having a candidate. But let me end with this.
Mr. Ak, with another person you speak today, or you just...
Yes,
I know. AY is ready to come after you soon.
See, let me end with this. PDP can only survive if they don't expel Wike and Atiku from PDP. PDP would never survive as a political party. I raise my case.
Yeah, that's for sure. Let me ask you though, do you think like another candidate could emerge in the election before 2027 that we don't know of yet? And do you think what do you think will happen towards the election if President Tinubu decides to release Nnamdi Kanu? I don't know what's going to happen. Though. The vote is going to go either way.
No.
So what do you think is going to happen?
Emergence of another candidate from a different political party, like a new political party. I don't see the possibility because some of those political parties, I mean, the mega political parties per se, is already destroying itself. Then the smaller political parties are just as confused as Nigeria. And that is why you see them running helter-skelter, trying to cross-carpet to APC. For example, the SDP guy now, we all know that his political career has been crushed, Some of us here on this platform said that this guy is actually working for APC. He's working for those
Why do you say his career has been crushed?
Yeah, because now he can't even contest. He can't even emerge as a candidate from his party.
Why?
His party has been hijacked, right?
By
When
whom?
you have the likes of when you have the likes of those are APC, PDP strong men joining SDP. How do you think? And I've watched him grace one TV interview where he was asked if he was going to emerge as a candidate, and his response was that he is interested in making Nigeria habitable for Nigerians. So because of that, if there is a candidate from the party that they think that will do better or same as he planned to do for Nigeria, that he has nothing to hold against the person, he will simply support the person. So you see, when the politician begin to dance like this, then there is a possibility that he doesn't have that stronghold again. Now, we have somebody like, I watched one news where somebody was recommended for El-Rufai to work with P2B, that it's only El-Rufai that is capable of galvanizing votes from the north for P2B. And I was like, I don't think P2B will be that clueless to have not known that in the last election that he practically won the election without these people, right? Without the likes of El-Rufai that could not even win election in his own state.
Hold on. El-Rufai, I don't like him for his religious bigotry, but that guy is formidable. Now,
fathers, I think Nigerians, sometimes we tend to hype people beyond their limits, right?
I don't think so. This is a guy that defied President Buhari.
No, let me tell you why. Let me tell you why I say that El-Rufai is being hyped beyond his limits. The reason is, during the last concluded election, he was the outgoing governor. Remember?
Yes.
And in Kaduna State, his party could not win the election in Kaduna State. The election was practically rigged. Let me tell you this: the entire of Kaduna State overwhelmingly voted for Labour Party. The entire of Kaduna South. Then when you come to the north, half of it voted for PDP. That's Atiku. Then the rest, APC, right? So he practically lost in his own state. However, the power of incumbency, just the way Wike did in Rivers State, what they used to rig the election for APC. The same happened in Delta State. Okowa could not win even in his own constituency. He could not even win.
In Delta State now.
Yes. Now, the thing is, you see these people, El-Rufai, I think, is somewhat untouchable by the APC or by Tinubu, and that is why he could, come out and be talking against, saying stuff against Tinubu and his likes. But
that guy seems to be untouchable by a lot of people.
Yeah, by the likes of Okowa that have cross-carpeted to APC are those that raked their states dry, just like El-Rufai. But Okowa is a nobody, so he can be treated like a nobody by Tinubu, and that is why the only way for him to still be relevant is to join APC. Now, we've seen where your man, I don't think he's your man, Showore, is hobnobbing with APC strongmen, right? Though somebody said that is an old video, but the fact is, this is the first time that I'm seeing it, and he's hobnobbing with APC strongmen, hitmen. Some of us are not surprised with that, by seeing that kind of stuff, because this is the same person that will come and say, "Oh, that Peter
corrupt
is
and everything.
yeah, he's genuflecting before the altar on the altar of those criminal politicians, but he genuflected before no Rubadi, right? Now, see, politicians are what they are. These are the people you will never trust for a second. The only thing that is most important to them is their interest, their personal interest, not the interest of the people. My brother here, AY, was
hold on before you go further. See,
yeah.
one, I did ask about what happens towards the election when Tinubu decides that, you know what, hey, my brothers in the East,
Yeah,
we are
I'm coming to that. I'm coming to that. I want to use it to close.
is coming home.
Exactly. I want to use that to close, right?
Okay.
My brother here, AY, said that that if only Tinubu could address the issue of power, right? So that Nigeria might be going to, the right direction. And I'm telling him that Tinubu is not going to do that, because Tinubu stated that he's going to continue from where Buhari stopped. What did Buhari do? Buhari destroyed what was left for him in Nigeria. So when he left, Tinubu took over, promising that he was going to continue from where Buhari stopped. And he also added that he's going to he's going to lower the purchasing power of Nigerians. This is what he campaigned with. You guys heard him when he was doing that campaign, saying all those things, and you think he's going to do otherwise. Now, when he took over from Buhari, he simply continued to destroy Nigeria from where Buhari stopped. So those things that Buhari could not destroy is what Tinubu is busy destroying now. And also, fulfilling his campaign promise, which was that he's going to lower the purchasing power of Nigerians. Is it not what he just simply gave you guys? Now, Tinubu, some of you are saying that he's confused, that he's not going to win the election because the Southeast is going to vote against him, obviously, and even some of the South states. Then when it comes to the North, when it comes to the North, that the North are going to vote against him. He seems not to understand these people. When it comes to Southeast and South, I agree with you. They will never vote for Tinubu. That is for sure. Now, when it comes to Middle Belt, I will still agree with you. 50-50, Middle Belt will vote for him. Some will vote for him. Those that will vote for him are those that the governors are APC governors. Simply, they are going to rig the election, not that the people are going to vote for him. We've seen the governor of Benue State threatening P2B, doing like a Idoma APC rascal, right? Who's the Nasarawa State, for example, and we've seen the Niger State guy that we thought is a young guy that could do something better. His only interest is to go against guys with dreadlocks. Now, if the North, as you rightly said, are going to vote against him, yes, I'll agree with you. He's not going to win. But this is it. The politicians, like I rightly said, their primary interest, what is most important to them is their interest, their pocket, their portfolio. So they are going to galvanize even the people, even if the people vote against APC, they are going to rig it for APC. That is, if Tinubu agree with their terms moving forward, they are going to rig the election for APC again for the second time. Now, but this is it. This is my own analysis here now. The Middle Belt of today, they've known better, regardless of who their governor is. Like what happened in Anambra State, for example. Our governor, we know that she's a woman. We know that our governor he talks too much and has nothing to offer. That is the Soludo. Even with all his campaign against P2B, Anambra people overwhelmingly voted for P2B, regardless of his position. And we had same replicate, happen in Abia State, right? All over Southeast entirely, right? And I think Middle Belt are going to do the same this time. Now, we're coming to the North. The Northern people now, they have come to an agreement or to realization that Tinubu is working against their interests. That I'm not even talking about the politicians. I'm talking about the people, those people that will queue up and vote. They have realized that their own political leaders and religious leaders are working against their interests. Example, something happened recently with my guy, VDM, a very dark man, when he made some statement against the Sultan of Sokoto, and one good-for-nothing idiot came out and was giving him ultimatum to apologize to Sultan of Sokoto. The northern youth came out and said that, first and foremost, they don't know this guy. And secondly, who is Sultan of Sokoto? So they have beginning to challenge their religious leaders, their political leaders. Who is Sultan of Sokoto? For anyone to even demand for apology for Sultan of Sokoto, that they have been lied to, they have been deceived with religion, they have been deceived with political affiliation, that they have been deceived with tribal sentiment, that is not going to happen moving forward. So the people in the north, the northern people, be it Hausa or even Fulani, they have realized that these people are just working for their personal interests. And for that reason, they are going to vote against their own people. They are going to vote against Tinubu. They are going to vote for the betterment. I mean, if there is any word like that, for the good of Nigeria.
I think it's a pattern, right? That Pololu said that the Hausas in the north are beginning.
So I will urge P2B. I will urge P2B to stay where he is. If anybody wants to work with him, they should come to him, right? You should stay where he is.
There was one other question I wanted to ask you. This thing that you are saying that Erufai is not going to be useful, are you sure? Erufai, people, hold on. Almost all the people Erufai has backed for presidency has gone on to win, including Buhari. He also backed Buhari to win, and he backed Tinubu to win.
Yeah, two different things. Yeah, two different things.
And in the campaign, he stood out. And we're not talking about somebody that just was on the side. He stood out as a major figure in the campaign itself.
No,
so that is what we're dealing with here.
You know, APC thrive with rascality, right? They thrive with rigging of election. So somebody like Erufai, that you say that was was all over during the election. He was simply doing what APC are known for, which is attacks, which is trying to create chaos where there should be none. Have you forgotten that during the election, he was the one telling his people that P2B is evil, P2B is going to work against the interests of their people. The same person that called P2B all manner of dirty names. But the question is,
I don't remember him saying that. No, he didn't.
Yeah, those candidates he supported, Buhari and Tinubu, did they actually win the election? That is the question. Or was the election rigged?
Look at it from the context that the people he backs, he's willing to do the Agbero work.
Yeah, he backs criminals. He backs criminals. He backs people that are willing and the people that are ready and the people that he know that are going to rig the election. That is the only people, because, like I said, his primary interest, the most important thing for him is his interest, which is his portfolio, making him a minister. But this time, it failed him, so he couldn't get when he supported Buhari, he became the governor. Have you forgotten? Now that and his son, he used that opportunity to fix his son in the House of Senate or where.
See, now, you're making it sound as if it has to be selfless. It doesn't have to be selfless. He gained. He delivered. You see, this man. If somebody does something joins his side, and he's a general. Let's say you're in the military, you're the general. Let me finish. If you are the general in anything you're doing, you are one of the top people that fought that war and won it. In the case of Buhari rewarded him, but Tinubu didn't. And one of the areas he is very passionate about is security. And the fact that they didn't let him do what he wanted to do in security, that should tell you something that why he's not part of the government. But that's it. Carry on.
In a war, right? If a general wins, he's going to be rewarded. He's going to be promoted as being a general. But political campaign or election activities shouldn't be a war zone, right? So he trying to rig the election, or he rigging the election for his paymaster in order to be rewarded, doesn't make him a hero, right? So it doesn't make him a better person. The only thing that he makes him is being a rascal that we all know that he is.
Hold on,
right?
hold on. See, this is not the same. I'm not saying he rigged the election. I'm saying, because I don't think he had the election. He lost the election. You forgot. You are saying, okay, you said he rigged the election and APC
Yeah,
won.
in the state, in his own state, in Kaduna.
But if you look at everywhere else, his contribution is not by state, it's nationally. Like when Buhari did the money issue where he said that he ruled a certain thing. This guy was the one that went and opposed it. Not even Lagos people opposed Buhari or Southwesterners. Erufai was the one that came out openly and opposed Buhari.
Was it Buhari or LMF? I don't know. The central bank. Yeah, MFLA. I think Emefiele was going doing it.
And he calls himself an Igbo man. He's slaughtering the Emefiele. What is that? What kind of attitude is that?
No.
So, but the point is that this guy came out openly. He's brazen. He's the one that during
the attack
Jonathan
is against the central bank governor, not against Buhari actually, because Buhari, as far as I know, as far as I'm concerned, Buhari was confused. Buhari doesn't even know what was going on. He doesn't even know what was going on.
Then how do you explain the one he did against Jonathan when he said they will form a parallel government?
Thank you.
If this guy was on the side of P2P, that's what I'm telling you. If this guy was on the side of P2P, do you think they will outrig P2P? He will fight to the end.
Now, see, you know me. I like strong men. I like men that has this behavior of I no grief, right? Yeah. So I like that kind of strong, attitude, right? But when it comes to Erufai, for example, right, I see somebody that is very mean, somebody that doesn't have respect for life, somebody that his only concern is what he gains or what he profits from such, from any venture.
Him like that too. Why do you say that?
Because in Kaduna State, have you forgotten what he said against the Christians in Kaduna State?
Father, it's more than 30 minutes.
Yeah, he told them. He said he gathered his people and said, he gathered his people and said that they will continue to remain in power, provided he is alive. They will continue to use all manner of lies and deception. Have you forgotten that we treated that topic on this platform? To stay in power, regardless that no other religion than Islam is going to stay in power in Kaduna State. So far, he's alive. He stated that. So this kind of person, he treated it in this platform.
He said something similar, but not
to that extent. Yeah, something similar, right? So he said it in Hausa that we even had to kind of interpret
what
it
he
here.
Said was that he said in a patronizing way that we Muslims know how to govern. We are going to do the right thing.
Now, is he the governor?
He said that they're going to favor more Muslims. I don't like him for that.
Thank you.
Father, move this discussion now. He
doesn't care for life. He does care for life. This man is the one that first said they need to kill the bandits. They need to kill terrorists in the north. He's the one that comes out openly. Can you imagine a Southeastern politician saying they should kill IPOP people?
No, Erufai stated that he was paying the bandit or the terrorists to stop killing. And we all know what he meant by that. How could you, as a state governor, using taxpayers' money to pay bandits? What he was simply doing was to lobby bandits so that they will continue killing. Now, if we should go by his claim, if you should go by his claim that he is paying them in order to stop killing, did they stop killing, or was the killing intensified each time he pays them? Exactly. This latter is what happened, because the killing intensified each time he paid them. So, which means he was just simply lobbying them to continue to kill the southern Kaduna Christians. Simple. And they are not only killing them, kill and occupy their place and change the name of that locality.
Let me share some of the antics of this guy. This guy is a no-nonsense kind of person when it comes to security. He doesn't take nonsense. He doesn't like the kind of stuff.
But during his time as a governor, his state was run down by terrorists, and he couldn't stop them.
Yeah, because he doesn't have the power to do that, and he said it himself.
As a governor, he doesn't have the power. And his master Buhari was the president, and he doesn't have the power to stop them.
Wait, now let's not hear what he says, so that you have an idea of the kind of way he sees security issues. I don't even know what he said here, but I'm sure he's consistent with it.
Are you trying to play a video?
Is he not playing? Oh, I'm busy watching it. You guys are not
playing.
I was watching it. You guys were not watching it. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. My apologies.
So you may want to start from where you want us to hear.
I don't know. I just played it. You see, the reason why I'm playing is I know he's consistent when it comes to security. As a matter of fact, he's the most hawkish person in Nigeria when it comes to security. National security. He cares deeply about that. I don't know why, but he just cares deeply about it. Let me just hear.
One was foiled completely, and the other one, I would say, was foiled because none of the students were kidnapped. So we felt we need to bring all the stakeholders together to lay out our strategy and also to get input from them. Maybe there is something we're missing. And in addition, security is the collective duty of everyone. And for security to be effective, there must be advocacy at the lowest community level. So we brought community leaders, civil society organizations, and everyone, along with the security agencies, to rub minds and see whether there is something we can do better or something that we are doing that is wrong, so that we reverse and generally find better ways to improve security in the state. And it has been very, very enriching. We've got many insightful suggestions.
That's the one. And when you were saying that he doesn't care about life, he's one of those people that doesn't care whether he's in a knot or not. He says mean things about bandits.
I am not going to judge you by what you just said before the camera. I'm going to judge you from, with what you delivered, what you did as a governor. So I'm judging El-Rufai using what he did as a governor, or what he said during his time as a governor. See, this guy that you're seeing now, this El-Rufai, is the most dangerous guy from the north.
I know, but that's my point. If he's back into
what is happening to him right now is that this guy is traumatized because of that ministerial snub that he encountered. So he's just losing political focus. He's just everywhere, jumping from pillar to pole. And if I were
hello guys, I think you guys are just running around the same place.
If I were this politician, like Tinubu or P2B, I would just let him.
I think you made the point. I think that's why I had to join, because you guys
I'm
were.
even surprised.
It's okay.
You be man now.
Let's move on from Guinea and go to Tony. You see, Tony is a gentleman. He doesn't say anything. Don't worry. He's going to change very soon. He's going to start yapping everybody else.
No. Seriously, this for me, the only threat from the north to Tinubu is El-Rufai.
I think so too. To an extent, it's a big problem.
The question is, what are his motives? He's a very cunning guy. He's a very smart guy. I don't think anybody had questioned that. The question is, what does El-Rufai want, really? Many times I've thought about this. I'm wondering if El-Rufai is actually a mole. Whether, is this like are these guys playing us?
It's possible.
Because
if you look at the Showore and Ribadu,
and I talked about Showore. When I talk about Showore, some people will start crying about Showore, that I hate Showore and all that. I said, look, everybody can see through Showore. It's like that Prince Adebayo. Like, can't you see that he's a Tinubu's agent in SDP? Tinubu was going to collapse his structure and move to SDP. He would have given Tinubu the platform to contest. And people are talking about the guy as if he's a serious politician. He's not a serious politician. But, for me, if you look at El-Rufai, many times I'm wondering, why would Tinubu shoot himself in the foot. Even if, yes, yeah, I agree with you that Atiku won Kaduna, and all that, but I don't think the core northern people, they have respect for El-Rufai. And he's someone that can sell someone like Obi, who is an Igbo Christian.
I'm telling you, if Europe
You know,
and P2B
if
come
he
together,
decides,
they will make a
if he
formidable
decides
machine.
to, it's almost impossible to market a Christian Igbo man to the the northwest, the core north. The only person that can do
Odi,
such a
let's
job.
leave it at that. Let's allow Tony to finish his turn before we start insulting him. What do you say?
You that better out there has
No, I
spoken
didn't
for
trust
let
anybody.
him just finish.
No. Tony hasn't said anything now.
You
Tony
that
is a
just
very,
allow
very,
Ode to
it's a
complete
very,
his
very
speech.
respectable.
No, but let me finish
Just
my
allow
point.
him
That
to
things
finish.
have started
Tony is a
talking.
I
gentleman.
thought he has
He
finished
will.
now. He's made his point now.
No, allow him. He's just
Since
started
Sunday
now.
speaking
He's forgotten.
already,
Kene, you
I've
spoke
been the
so
one
long
talking.
that you couldn't
No,
even
I've been the one
countenance.
may you
talking.
get
Couldn't
Odi just started.
countenance even talking on whether
Oh,
if
God.
Tinubu release Peter
Forefather,
Obi,
Odi
whether
just
you're going to
started.
vote for Tinubu.
Allow him to finish.
Forefather,
Let me
Forefather,
finish
since
now.
Well,
Look at
Tony will
this.
give
You
you
will not let
time.
me moderate. I'm saying that Kene, for one, didn't answer the question I asked him about Tinubu releasing Nnamdi Kanu, whether he's going to
Yeah,
vote for
that was what I was trying to close it.
but he didn't get there. He
everyone
didn't
said
get
that I was
there
talking
because
like
you
a
couldn't
woman.
get there. It's too far for you to go.
Yeah, because this is my
Let
jurisdiction.
Tony finish.
This is
Let
my
Tony finish.
department. I should be allowed to say
it's your
something about
department,
this.
but he didn't answer him for more than 20
Yeah,
minutes.
I was trying to close with it, and everyone said I was talking too much. See,
For 20 minutes.
yeah,
No,
okay,
we are going
30
to come back
seconds,
to
I
you.
will finish.
We are going to
30
come back to
seconds, I
you
will
on
close.
that. No, we are going to come back to you on that so that you
Okay,
can actually
no,
flesh it
Forefather,
out.
let
Odi,
Ode
continue.
finish his speech.
Odi,
He's
continue.
going
Let's
already.
allow Tony to talk. We have to give Tony his time. Tony has
You
been
are
very
the
So give
modified.
Odi your time. Let him finish, then you continue. You do your own.
Odi will have his time. Welcome, Tony. I really appreciate your patience. You can see we are a little bit rough here, but the point is I like to ask questions so that people can flesh their own ideas out in the way they perceive the trends. So we are talking about the flood gates opening where the Southern Governor Assembly jump inside the APC like some kind of salvation ark that they are all facing doom somehow. Could it be peradventure that Tinubu decided to declare a state of emergency, went after this Sim Fubara the way he did? That scared all of them and said, yeah, this guy, if he's going to be able to do this to Fubara like this, what is he going to do to us if we don't give him what he wants? Could it be that that's what's scaring them? Because it appears to be coincidental that just after that event, all of them started jumping ship into APC. Do you think it's linked?
Yeah, first of all, let me start by greeting everybody. Forefathers, I greet you. And every other person there. Greetings, and those who are listening and, on the platform. Yeah, for me, there are three ways to look at it. Yes, I take your angle that if you look at what is happening, I think that most of those who are jumping ship are looking at 2027, and there are so many layers to the questions that you just asked me. One, we have seen River State, what the president did, and he's almost getting out. In fact, he has gotten out of it. Nothing happened. There was no, people just talk and talk and talk, and the man is moving on. And then we saw before that, we saw Edo State. The president had told people in Edo State, his party, do you want me to give you Edo State? They said yes. So, and he delivered Edo State. President has one vote, and I don't know that he comes from Edo State, but he said he was going to deliver it, and he did. And I'm not from Edo State; it's a close state to my state. But from what we hear, I've listened extensively to the actors, the participants, and a few other people commentaries on what happened. I don't think that election was free and fair. So if you take those two states, it means that APC can do a miracle and deliver. So
Why can't they do when the sitting governor was completely useless?
yeah, so those of them who are going for second term, it looks like if you want to get your second term, then you better go and kiss the president's ring, and then you are guaranteed of a second term. You know, so I see that as part of the reason why people are moving, because if you look at APC today, if you look at the government at the center, and you look at APC states, if you were to take a census of governors that are performing very well, I don't think you're going to pick any APC governor, not even Lagos, as because the standard in Lagos, I think, has gone down compared to those other people who were before this particular one. So if you look at that, what will be the attraction for people moving to APC? Has the federal government?
Sorry though, I think one thing you said there I find a little bit puzzling to say. The standard in Lagos has gone down. I would have thought the standard in Lagos either remained the same at the least, or may have gone up, because with all the blue line and red line and quite a lot of new things, seaports and other stuff, it's one area in Nigeria that seems to be getting a lot of new things going on there. So
I don't think so. I don't think so, because I grew up in Lagos. I lived in Lagos. I'm not there now, but I know how it was up till Ambodi, and I was in Lagos in November, December last year, and I saw quite a few things, and had a few discussions. Yes, I don't think that the tempo in terms of development, I don't think that in terms of initiative, innovations, I don't think that you can draw a parallel with at least the two governors before. I don't think so. This is my own thinking.
Okay, that's
I could be wrong.
You are comparing with the previous governor, but if you look at other parts of Nigeria, there's Dangote Refinery, there is Blue Rail. There are quite a lot of things you can name. You can't name
Dangote Refinery has nothing to do with the governor. The Blue Rail started long time, years. Yes, it came to fruition. I don't think it's even completed. It's still red line, blue line. It's still ongoing. Yes, we'll give some credit, but I'm saying that there's a standard that has been set. From Tunumbu, and then you got to Fashola, the tempo, increase the tempo, and then you got to Ambodi for 4 years, we saw phenomenal development. But I'm just saying that that's in passing. I'm just trying to say that, yes, I agree with what you have said. People are going to APC, not because APC has done terribly well, no. Some who are moving, if you look at them, there are people, most of them are people, whether they are senators, governors, and so on, there are people who are afraid that, with the kind of things that we see now, with this kind of state capture that we see, or people who have stolen money or so on and so forth, if you move to APC, your sins are forgiven. If you are running for a second term, whether as a senator or a member of House of Assembly,
you don't see a correlation with the events in River State.
No, I think it's the same thing that is repeating itself, that we now have an almighty president who can do and undo, and he just goes unchecked. So in that sense, yes, I agree with you, because it looks like he's just going on and nobody questions him, even if what he does seem to be against the Constitution. Nobody questions him, so that's an almighty Trumpian president who can do anything and get away with it.
The pattern, I think somebody said this even during the time of the election, and I have to say, a few people have said this on this platform when they were saying that they've captured the judiciary, and because they captured the judiciary, they ensured their place in office. Now, the next stage of their capture was the House of Assembly and Senate. They captured that one.
Everything is captured, but
then they are going state by state now. And that
Yes.
seems to be a pattern that I
Yeah.
can say
Yes.
works
Yes.
for yes.
Yes. That's what I'm saying. But the second layer actually is that the greatest politician in Nigeria, in terms of who is striking fear on Tinubu in terms of 2020, the presidential election, is Obi. And so, if it's not
Okay,
Atiku.
let me ask you this: do you think between Erofa and Obi, which one Tinubu fears more?
Tinubu doesn't fear El-Rufai. Tinubu has a way. First of all, let me just give you a few things about El-Rufai. Obasanjo, one of his books that he wrote, I can't remember exactly which book, he commented about El-Rufai because El-Rufai served under him as minister for Federal Capital Territory. Okay. I think first of all, he started as he was in charge of BTE, BT, is it BTE or something like that? Yes. And then he became a minister. Obasanjo, in one of his books, didn't have anything complimentary about El-Rufai. So El-Rufai and Kene was saying something that I think is very real, although you don't seem to agree with him. In terms of security, El-Rufai was a total failure. And that's why, of course, if you see part of the reason, I put it in quote, why he was refused ministerial appointment is because there's a security report against him.
There was no security report. They were just using it as
So,
an excuse.
I think Kene, I agree with Kene. I agree with Kene. There was an incident sometime when he was governor in Kaduna, and the terrorists were about to strike a particular location in Kaduna. El-Rufai had to go and withdraw his children from school. So he heard about it and withdrew his children from school. And then the next day, the terrorists struck. So it tells you, and I think that if you go and ask in southern Kaduna about El-Rufai, out of every 10, you probably will just find maybe one person who would vote for El-Rufai. So in terms of security, in terms of his dealings when he was governor, he was parochial. He was not. He didn't. For him, he didn't look at everybody in the state as part of his constituency, particularly if you don't belong to his faith. That's an established fact.
My point. The way I'm looking at it, I'm not looking at whether he was effective as a security in terms of his state, in terms of security. We don't know the counterfactual, whether it would have been worse without him being around at that particular time. Maybe Kaduna would have been Bono, who knows? Or what the point I'm making is that the way he speaks about security, I don't even see Yoruba or Southeastern, maybe even South people say something so boldly against the foremost kind of militant group in that area. Like, can you imagine someone like Azare Dokubo saying something very strongly negative about this is Niger Delta militants, or a politician in the southeast saying something very strident about anything to do with IPOB or this is any other group in that area? But El-Rufai comes out openly and says something very, very mean, and it's like they should go after them, they should kill them, and all this about all those terrorists in the north.
No, can I answer that question for you? That there's a difference between mere rhetorics and what you do practically. El-Rufai, yes, he might be worried about security. El-Rufai is not my ideal person when he talks of someone who is very conscious about security in Nigeria or in his state. In his state, he didn't do better in terms of security. Now, the security situation in his state is much better than where it was back.
Hold on. I don't want us to run away from this, because the way I'm judging it, I'm not saying he's the best human being for security. I'm saying in Nigeria space, he's the best in politicians. They don't talk about security. They don't care. They just come and condolences. Nobody's talking about, let's really go after these people and get them. He's the only one that does that. And it's crazy that we have to rely on somebody like El-Rufai that is a religious bigot to be able to do that. Why is Obasanjo not doing it? Why is Buhari? Why are all the others that are supposed to be level-headed, why are they not doing the same thing? Why is he? I don't even know why none of them.
He was
It's only him.
he was
Very
he was
simple
doing
question.
the talk. He
What
was
did he
doing the
do?
talk, but he was not walking the walk. You know, he was talking, but he was not because he's not just talk. You have there was no action in terms of because you start from your little enclave when you were governor. What did you do? So if you have tackled security, then we can now say, you know, yes, we believe what you're saying. So it's not just talking. The other third
It's
level.
not only talking. He did some things now. This is one of the occasions they attended where they brought everybody together to discuss what they need to
No,
do.
Famara, stop showing us what he said. Show us what he
But
did.
I just told you. I just
Okay, let
told
me
you
find
that he
out.
has a security report. Yeah, he just had a security report, and that's one of the reasons why, according to what we heard, that he was not made minister. There's a security report against him, you know, and
He
it
said
must
it
be very
himself. He
weighty
said it
for
himself. No. What
it must.
are you believing Nigeria security report? Are you
Well,
serious?
I can't fault them. I mean, I don't know more than them. If they say that he had a security report
You
and
mean
it's so
President
weighty
Tinubu?
that he cannot be.
Are you telling me President Tinubu didn't know about Erufai when he took him to Chatham House to go and make his security case for him?
Because he knows how, Tinubu knows that El-Rufai knows how to talk like a parrot, right? He knows how to convince people like you. So that was why he took him to Chatham House, right?
Forefather,
But,
this is not fair
but the fact
anymore.
is,
I'm
when he
here.
was,
Let me finish. Let me
Let
finish
somebody
my
finish.
this thing
Let
so
them
that
proceed,
someone
man.
else can.
Hold on. Sorry, please. We started the show 4. It's almost 6 now, and we are still just 2 people. We have a lot of people. You allow Ike to speak for almost 30 minutes. Can almost an hour. Like, which kind of what's going on? No, I'm serious.
Calm down now. Calm down.
I'll be here.
So,
I will even tell you, okay, let me finish.
See.
So they complete is this year. You come back to me. Why are you doing this, man? Let's do
why?
it.
let me just.
It's 1 hour, 1 hour, 8 minutes. So and you say that I spoke for 1 hour. The show itself is 1
Let
hour.
me just round up so that let me just round up so that other people, because there are so many other people. Let me just round up. So I first of all, I said that yes, I agree with you when you talked about people security of their tenure. That's what they are looking at. Those who are moving, too. Some people are moving in there, like my former governor, because Oshomole has told us when he was chairman of APC that if you come over to APC, your sins will be forgiven. So if you stole trillions, like Okowa is accused of doing, if you come over to APC, if you stole like Gandola, then your sins are forgiven. So I can see that move. And then the second thing that I see is that there's a fear. Like I said, Obi still remains a very, very relevant and strong political force in Nigeria. So one of the ways that you can deal with Obi is to decimate what you think is the support, and then solidify your own support base, so that, and then fractionalize all the other parties, so that if you have a repeat of what happened in 2023, then he's going to win. And I think that's what is happening now, because there's a deliberate policy to make sure that PDP is fractionalized. All the talk about coalition will fail. Labour is fractionalized. NPP is fractionalized. And then, of course, so you are left with new parties to build it up. It's going to take a while. And even in those parties, there are moles, working for the government that is serving. So it creates difficulty for whoever is going to challenge Tinubu if he stays till 2027 to be able to do that. And then overall, when you have captured the judiciary, captured the press, captured the House of Assembly, captured INEC, and so on and so forth, and you have the financial muscle, to spread around, it's going to be difficult for opposition to come up with any strategy to unseat the incumbent. And even then, there is a power of incumbency. Yeah, but that's what I think is their thinking. Yes, that's what I think is their thinking. But those other people are strategizing as well. And They are losing sleep over the opposition, particularly Obi. That's what is happening. They are losing sleep, because everybody is being intimidated, bribed, begged, to come back to APC, and so on and so forth.
I
So
think
we'll see what happens.
maybe don't you think that maybe I think it's more of a rhetorical question now because others have to come in. I'm sorry. That it may have more to do with the fact that Tinubu won 36% of the vote the first time round, and he knows he has a lot of ground to make up if he's going to stand a chance. Because if he leaves that coalition still standing, he doesn't have a chance, especially if they decide to come together. Maybe that too is also informing his paranoia about why he feels he needs to really destroy all the opposition party. Because let's face it, this was a trend even before Buhari left office. I remember Governor Ayade of Cross River or something crossed carpet and joined APC even before the last. So the trend was already going on even before Tinubu came to office. The point I was trying to add was that could it be this Fubara incident put the fear of God in them? Who is next? So that they can answer it. I think it's hey God. If I don't call AY now, AY will start
No,
fighting.
you can let Ode finish. He
No,
started
let
already.
Oti
I will
finish
wait
now.
for Ode. After Ode, I will
Odi,
go.
okay, Odi. Odi,
Odi.
welcome. Thank you for joining us. And now that the time is compressed, I'm going to see what I can try to avoid man of prestige, but it's all right. It is what it is. We will try to get to Paul and get to Dexter. So, Odi, what do you make of this incident? I really think me and you share similar opinion about Aerofy to an extent because I've seen this guy do things that defy logic in Nigeria, and he's still standing. So do you think it will make a good ally in terms of power to check all these vote riggers against Peter Obi?
Yeah, well, thank you. It's kind of my second missionary journey. I had to jump in to break that cycle, initially. But anyway, yeah. I agree with you in some parts. What I done, I don't think it has so much of an electoral value being in the ballots, right? Many people don't like El-Rufai. If you put him on the ballot, it's going to bring a lot of negativism. People don't like him. But, El-Rufai, like Kene said, he has mouth. And, the politicians, what you require is how do you sell yourself. El-Rufai is ready to talk from now to tomorrow. And he can convince a lot of people. And whenever I think of El-Rufai, I see him as a model of the Muslim North in Nigeria. That's what his constituency is. And that guy, if you listen to that guy that talked about him on channels, the guy he's been right in many things about Nigerian politics. If you look at it, someone has to inherit the followership that Buhari had. And that guy is not Kwankwaso, right? People thought it was going to be Kwankwaso or Atiku. But Kwankwaso has been hiding, like underplaying NNPP, APC. It looks like he's going to move to APC now. The only person that it looks like is going to be El-Rufai. The question is he a mole? His children are unruly and the things they do, those things will, is he parochial? Yes, he is. But does he speak strongly in a convincing manner? When El-Rufai talks, sometimes if you don't remind yourself of his antecedents, you start being convinced about what he's saying. It's powerful. You say, in America, you say he has oratory prowess, or like he's a good speech, and those things affect people, right? But I think going back to what especially Delta State was simply about Okowa, right? Okowa has been harassed by Tinubu about all the money he stole. The people there, the governor, I'm sure ESCC have shown him his dossier. And if you remember, there's another leg to this. Just before this announcement was made, PDP governors met and they said there was not going to be any coalition. I think the whole target is about Atiku for PDP. because the idea is, Atiku is looking for a platform, right? He's been disengaged. Now he's trying to look for an SPV to use for his presidential whatever. Like there's no party that Atiku has now, right? So what they did simply is to pull the rug out of his feet. All the governors, there's not going to be any, because if
But what do you
Atiku
mean
comes
Atiku
again,
doesn't have a party? If anyone doesn't have party, it's a plan by Wiki. Atiku has PDP.
no, that's what I'm saying. They are trying to dismantle PDP. Yeah, of course, Atiku has the PDP. They know that come the convention next year, Atiku is going to win again. So the idea is to just destroy PDP, and he has no car to drive. They're going to remove the battery, which is the governor. Well, Atiku, look, we know the 6 million votes Atiku had last in 2023 was by PDP governors rigging those states for him. Many of those states, that's how, imagine Atiku getting all the votes he got in Osun State. Is that how they love him so much? So the idea of what Tinubu has done smartly, or if I think it's the PDP governors who have made the decision to say, look, we don't want this guy to come and capture us. And or your state governor is Makinde. He's involved in all this. He's part of the G5 governors. He's Wike's friend. So the idea is, let's dismantle this party. Come and see what you use for election. Then the other leg is, one thing that we are not seeing. Of course, Tinubu is trying to capture the South because he knows there's a problem with the North. Obviously there's a problem with the North. The North can forgive their brother if their brother decimates them, with poverty, with crime, with security problems. They're forgiving Buhari. It's not that they like what he did, but they can't forgive a Southerner for what is going on in the North. People are more aware, and the North is a more difficult place to control unless you capture their leaders. And El-Rufai is one of them. So I think part of the idea is, let's capture the governors in the North or in the South, and then let's see what Atiku can, let's see what the other people have. At least let's be able to block Obi out of the whole game. Most people who are free-minded know that Obi won that election. Maybe I don't think he got the two-third majority of states.
Can you
But
answer the question then, though?
let me land.
Okay.
I think if you look at the popular votes, most likely he got the popular votes in the last election. I think most people who calculate elections will know this. The whole idea is, let's get these governors and let's see where his votes will come from. Of course, there were 3 people in the last election, 3 main guys, where you can include Sowore also, right, with his 12,000 votes.
Okay, let me add this now. So towards the
Okay,
election,
go
let's say it's a month before the election, or let's say 2 months before the election. President Tinubu says, "Hey, my brothers in the East, I hear your voices. I've heard your concerns. Today, Nnamdi Kanu is going to come free. He's not my best friend." And Nnamdi Kanu comes out and says, "Jagabad all the way." What do you think is going to happen? Is that not going to be a problem for P2B?
No, this is a very good question that you asked, and trust me, I've, there was a podcast that David Hundeyin did with Emir Saddam. I think people should go and watch that podcast. There was this op-ed that was written by one American billionaire about this, essentially about Christian and the Muslim. No, I can give you. I'll see if I can find the link. I'll send it to you. That was very striking. This someone who has Donald Trump's ear. What they said essentially, or the summary, is that he was trying to convince Rubio to support the Christian South to find Biafra, which didn't make any sense if you look at the whole thing, because the idea of secession in the Southeast has nothing to do so much with what is going on in the Middle Belt. But watch this space. Why am I saying this? I think Nnamdi Kanu will be released. You know, everybody will have their own interest. America has their own interest. Watch, that's why I'm trying to bring that Nnamdi Kanu issue. Tinubu has his own interest. But if the question you're having in mind is that somebody in Enugu will go and vote for Tinubu because Nnamdi Kanu said that, then you don't understand the people, the Igbo people. That's a failure of understanding. We have never had kings before. Anybody you see, there's a king in Igbo land, except maybe the guy is closer to the Niger River. You know, it's a warrant chief, essentially a sellout. We have no kings. There's nothing like that. Yes, Nnamdi Kanu, yeah, is he the most powerful voice in the East? Absolutely. But not when he comes to say Tinubu is the man to vote for. No,
How
it's
many
not going to happen.
percent do you think he's going to peel
Hold
off?
on. What he can do, can he, upturn the whole election? Yes. What Nnamdi Kanu can do is to come out and say no voting in the Southeast. And then nobody will vote. But if it's to say go and vote for Tinubu, then he will lose every credibility he has. And this is my opinion. And I'll leave it. But the only thing, my summary is, if Tinubu continues this way, of course, he's going to win 2027, because the INEC is now talking about, which is even the bigger issue, that you can vote without PVC. You just bring a paper. They're just going to thumbprint him in, right? You know, if you know how the PVC works and the bimodal verification, BVAS and all that, if you know how it works, you know that if they find a way to bring people to vote without PVC, the election is already over. The only way that the Tinubu is not 2027 president is if the Nigerians decide that enough is enough at some point between now and 2027 and take down the system. Maybe with some outside help, which is not impossible, but I'll just leave it at this.
Please, forefathers.
Sorry, touch about Obi of Onitsha. I don't understand. You say you guys don't have king.
Let's leave that for now.
I know. I said
Let's leave that for now.
I said the kings that are from around the Niger River. I talked about the people around the Niger River. They have kings.
I know we don't have a lot of time, but can we talk about Burkina Faso? It's a big trending story.
It's a bit of a shame.
It's not
all
important
of them,
than
all
this.
the people that are coming. Look at
more
all
important.
You asked me a question about Nnamdi Kanu.
Calm down. Calm down.
About Nnamdi Kanu and Tinubu, right? And I was unable to answer it.
Hold on, Kene, please. Hold on, Kene.
Yeah, calm down,
Oti is backstage, and a lot of people want to talk about this issue of it's a potential weapon President Tinubu has got as Nnamdi Kanu is still there. He could use it as a political gambit to destabilize the Southeast so that he gains advantage over P2B. That's something. That's why I'm asking. We have to start thinking about this.
Forefathers, I think Odi has answered you, but if I may add something a little bit, this is what I will add, right? When it comes to Southeast, yes, it is true that Nnamdi Kanu has a strong hold in Southeast when it comes to political, what they call it, decisions, right, of the people. But and this is only when it is something that will favor the people. If it is not what is favorable to the people, nobody's going to listen to Nnamdi Kanu. I bet you on this. And again, Nnamdi Kanu will not be that lousy to make himself a laughingstock in the Southeast, because I don't think he will ever say such a thing. This is somebody that during Buhari's first term,
Someone Ekpa said that much now, no election.
Hold on. You're talking about encouraging our people to vote for.
But he could also say no election. It's the same thing. If he says no election, he would damage these prospects.
Exactly. Okay, see. During even when he said no election, our people still came out and voted for their candidate of choice. Right? Now, when what they call him during Buhari's first term, Nnamdi Kanu was telling you Nigerians that Tinubu is going to come and become your president. And he will become your president for the first term and even go for the second term. Now, the same Nnamdi Kanu wouldn't come out and be telling you to vote for somebody that he know has no credibility. See, if Tinubu wants to release Nnamdi Kanu based on the fact that he's hopeful that Nnamdi Kanu is going to support him, then he better not release him. Simple.
My thinking.
Nobody is making him. Nobody.
Let's talk about something else.
AY is
It's going to release him when the time comes, right?
Let's go.
It's going to release him when the time comes.
Can you stop now? Let's move on to the next person because
you are a man. I respect people, man.
Well, I was asking a question. What's your problem? AY. He asked me a question. I was answering. You are there shouting. There shouting. What's wrong with you guys? What did you guys do? Funny.
Are we still going to talk about?
Calm down.
Right now.
Are we still going to talk about?
Calm down. Hey, let's calm down. AY, you shouldn't go backstage, but AY has been trying to correct things out here. So hold on. Let me not take Kenny out just like he did anything wrong. He didn't do anything wrong. Okay, but Oti will need to come on to have his own say. Who is next on the queue? The queue has been man.
But wait, forefathers, are we going to talk about Burkina Faso?
I'm next.
See, everybody wants to have their say on this topic.
I'm the next person to speak.
AY is next. After AY is me.
Did they allow the moderator to do his job?
No, we can't just talk about this topic. Is not as important as what's going on.
I'm supposed to speak after AY, forefathers.
I'm not going to join. I'm not going to join this live anymore. This is nonsense.
Come on, man. Why are you being all like this now? Just because you don't talk about your topic, it's not always like that. You know, it's a give and take. Everybody has their say. Okay, let's go to AY.
Oh my God!
This is not. Why are you making it sound as if it's so long?
I need you. Let everybody speak. At least you give everybody for 5 minutes. It would be good. What is somebody talking for 30 minutes? You are mad. You just rigmaroling one.
Not 30 minutes now.
Whatever whatever he does here is wrong.
Okay,
if you give me 5 minutes, you will complain it's not enough. If you give you 20 minutes, it's too much. Forefathers, don't mind these people. They can't pull you down.
As they are supporting you to do.
You know, we are living through a day where Kene is defending me now. This is where we are now. This is where we are now. We've come 360.
Let me. I just want to quickly add because we don't have time, right? So, the politics going on in Nigeria, I kind of agree with a lot of people, a lot of stuff what they said, right? But one of it I disagree is say El-Rufai will not sell, like if you make him like a vice president. El-Rufai is gonna sell. The issue is what you see in Nigeria, right? It's just like when Buhari used to contest, the Southerners never voted for Buhari, never liked Buhari. Because there was this perception, it's an Islamic fundamentally. Usually I don't listen, it's gonna Islamize Nigeria. I don't listen to this jargon because what is going. Don't forget, El-Rufai, his people will vote for him. This is the honest truth. What they can say is the Southerners might not vote for him, but trust me, the Northerners will vote for him. And the issue of and somebody that will inherit Buhari 10 million votes in the North, that is also still very open. Buhari, El-Rufai is like Buhari's son. I think there might be connection that El-Rufai is going to inherit most of those votes. This is just a fact. I personally think you like El-Rufai, you don't like him. El-Rufai is one of the most intelligent politicians we have. In terms of education, in terms of IQ, I believe he's very good. But here is it. I feel if you put Peter Obi and El-Rufai on a ticket, it's going to be a very tough ticket for Tinubu. Here, one reason. People are saying, he's not doing well in Kaduna State. That's not actually correct. Kaduna is a core PDP state. If you go check the history of Kaduna, even if you check 2019 election, Atiku is a Kaduna guy. These are the Kaduna Mafia, the popular Kaduna Mafia. So the Yaradua group, all of them, they still belong to that Kaduna mafia. So the history is still there. If you watch 2019, 2023, you will see Atiku always do well in Kaduna. It's called no less than 40% in each of these elections. In 2023, don't forget, Peter Obi came into Kaduna to divide Kaduna vote. The Christian population in the south, of course, they really voted for Peter Obi. Tinubu, I think got like 30%. Peter Obi got like something percent. Atiku again got 40%. So they basically divided it because Peter Obi came into the equation, kind of divide the vote in Kaduna. The VP to Tinubu to Peter Obi in 2023 is not actually a strong candidate, right? In the south, unknown person can actually stand for an election. You are able to win, you will get vote. In the north, it's kind of a bit different. So the election go by who are you, the popularity. It go by a straight person will not just come and take another vote because that vote is well guided. These votes are controlled by the leaders, the governors, the religious leaders. That's what is going on in the north. So that is why, even with the noise going on now, if Tinubu can make a strong agreement with these people in terms of using money, in terms of they're still gonna vote. So this is what is going on. It's even in the south, people will say, no, I've examined this person. I'm not, even if your father is telling you vote for this person, you tell him, Baba, I'm not voting. I'm voting for a different person. Like what happened during with the 2023 Peter Obi. Look at what happened in Edo State. PDP, you are leading. We are in charge. What happened in Delta State? PDP, you are in charge. Peter Obi, you saw what he did in those states. If not for evil manipulation, he will do better. So the politics is Nigeria politics is very, but the alliance I want to see that I can confidently say is gonna shake Tinubu. That alliance, Atiku is gonna be part of that alliance. So you need the strong men in the north to pull out votes from the north for Peter Obi. If you have if you have genuine, let me call it genuine alliance. If you have Atiku and you have El-Rufai, you have some of the big wings, one or two governors, they are sincere to support a fresh candidate in the south. It might be a game changer. But don't forget, it's Tinubu in power. He's a politician. He knows how to negotiate power. Tinubu, nothing will stop him to drive to Atiku house and tell him, listen, you got to support me. What do you need? He's got to negotiate that power. He is very tough.
And that brings us to one key thing. That brings us to one key point when you talk about this negotiating power. This issue, that one thing I discovered about Nigerians is that their moral compass, their ethics, integrity is very much for sale.
These politicians, that's what they do.
No. I'm talking about the entire Nigerian population. Not okay, fine, not 100%, but there's a culture that implies, you know, how Nigerians are very ambitious. We have unrestrained ambition that doesn't have any restraint on it. In other words, there's no morality, there's no integrity to restrain the ambition. So in other words, it's easy to sell. This is what I think is what makes Tinubu so successful, in terms of, because all he has to do is offer them what they want and they will sell. And it brings to that question that you are raising now. You can go to Atiku now and say, what do you want? And Atiku will sell. And this is a big problem that we are facing here, because this guy, if that is the case, if you are correct, the only thing that is going to bring him down is people that have conviction that this cannot carry on. You cannot do this. We are having, and I think someone like El-Rufai does. El-Rufai will find hard to sell, because I think what Tinubu did to him, he's not going to forgive. Money is not going to buy it. I don't think so. You might think so. I know you believe so, but I don't think he will.
Yeah, you know, the thing is, to be honest, Tinubu betrayed El-Rufai, no doubt. Any politician will tell you that, right? Mr. Tony was saying, "Oh, it's the security report." No, it has nothing to do with security report. It was just politics. So, if you understand the way
but
Nigeria
why
is
did he
structured,
betray Rufai though? I'm beginning to believe that there's a conspiracy behind it because it doesn't have any reason to.
There is. Look at it, right? So, I think there is politics coming from Ribado. I strongly believe there is serious politics coming from Ribado. Ribado and Rufai used to be very close friends. But Ribado is scared of the power of El-Rufai. If El-Rufai come into power, by now, it's El-Rufai you will be hearing everywhere. He can attack anybody. He can speak for the government. You saw what he was doing for Buhari. When Buhari, during the Naira redesign, El-Rufai, he granted a press conference. He granted a full press conference. So that's El-Rufai. He's not scared. He's very bold. So Ribado was not.
And I heard he did a good job in Abuja, though. And that's another thing.
Even in Kaduna, he did a good job. In Abuja, he did an amazing job, of course. Nobody will tell you El-Rufai did an amazing job in Abuja. But here is it, right? It is all politics. Listen, there is nobody. If the president of Nigeria wants you to be a minister, there is nobody, exactly. I say, that can change it, except he's not interested. I mean, the Senate president, Tinubu, that if not for Tinubu, it can't be Senate president.
Yeah, but what is at the core of it now? Because I'm beginning to think that because of his hawkish position on security, that's my take. It's a conspiracy.
Like you
I
said,
find it hard
right?
to believe that the only person in Nigeria that is hawkish about security didn't make it into cabinet.
Like you said earlier, right? El-Rufai is very consistent with security. If you watch his interviews, he has a plan. Oh, this is how we can deal with the bandits. This is how we can deal with the terrorism in the north. He's very consistent. From Buhari, if you watch all his interviews, you will see how.
AY,
but
AY, if you don't mind, I'm sorry. There was a security report against El-Rufai. I can tell you that. Hold on. My field is security. There was a security report on El-Rufai strong enough to make the president to back off. President wanted him to serve. President El-Rufai was going to study in Egypt. Was going to do a PhD.
Wait.
You truly believe that?
Yeah, hold on. Let me ask him a question too. There was a security report. You allow the person to go to the Senate to go do what then? You remove his name. You don't allow him to go for interview. Why is he going for interview? Then you get to Senate. Senate says it's not approved. Why is Tinubu say, listen, Mr. Man, there is security report. I can't make you my minister. Okay, I can give you a different position. Please, you need to chill. Or give me somebody else. See, this is
Can I ask you a question? Can I ask you a question? Do you know what the security report on El-Rufai was?
Let me share it because I think you have been saying this. You repeated it a few times. Let me just share the report. He said ministerial screening inside SSS allegation against El-Rufai, withdrawing the withholding of Mr. El-Rufai's confirmation shocked many Nigerians who perceived him as an A-list ministerial nominee, and that is not surprising because he's the foremost campaigner and fighter for Tinubu to become leader. So allegations of human rights abuses, allegations of human rights. Hey God, Nigeria position on human rights. Hold on, let me finish that. Allegation of human rights. Look at the other one, unguarded remarks, which is one of those statements that he made about Islamic stuff. I condemned him for it, but I don't think people like Tinubu have scruples about making unguarded remarks because he also made unguarded remarks against Eastern people. I've had Tinubu make unguarded remarks against them. So I don't know why he's picking on El-Rufai on that one. And purported flood of petitions. Petitions. These are the three things. Petitions against El-Rufai is the reason why.
Yeah. Yes. What are the petitions? What were the contents of the petition? Because these are just general
Mr. Tony, I would have liked to come in, but I don't want to let me go lose my own turn. Mr. Tony, it's simple. When you said so, before a president will appoint person, the president first would have already done your own background check. So if the president have done your background check before you will know whether he will send your name in, you're already clear. You are already clear. Mr. Tony. Yes. Yeah, Mr. Tony, let me tell you. Mr. Tony, let me tell you.
We saw people who didn't do youth corps.
No, these guys are wrong.
Yes.
Mr. Tony, I don't want to take this thing as this. See, El-Rufai or Tinubu want to give El-Rufai position, but somewhere along the line, when El-Rufai heard about it, El-Rufai refused. They push him. Compensating El-Rufai, they don't want the way El-Rufai. I have a strong insider. It's not statement of fact. I will brag with that one. But taking El-Rufai, they know El-Rufai will be an hazard. They want to send El-Rufai as an ambassador to the UK. El-Rufai said, God forbid, they want to send him far. So which is still like a punishment. Then they walk it around another way around and say, okay, send him to the confirmation. Then they mess it up there. You understand? The information first come. They said they're going to make him first class ambassador.
They are working with innuendos.
That is speculation.
That is speculation.
Please, let me finish.
Let us leave all this.
Please.
Let me wait for my turn. Let me wait for my turn.
Forefather.
Yeah.
No matter what anybody is saying here, before you send any minister name to the Senate, they must be screened by the DSS. That is the protocol. Nothing more. The security reports must go to the president's table. He just deliberately humiliated El-Rufai. I'm not saying there might be a petition.
And because of that, El-Rufai is traumatized.
Hold on, man. Listen.
You've been talking since.
Hold on. We had petitions against political people that want to occupy political positions. So the thing is, El-Rufai worked for Tinubu, right? It is politics going on. Part of the story I heard was because he was supporting Rotimi and Meche initially. Then when that didn't work out, because El-Rufai's target was to be VP to Amechi. When that didn't work out, he now said, okay, he's not supporting Ahmed Lawal, he's going to support Tinubu. So he supported Asiwaju, but Asiwaju, I think he was not still comfortable with that. So there were issues. The reality is, I really don't believe in the security report, because even in Nigeria, if the president wants you to be something, wants you to forget about
security report.
Yeah, let me say this.
AY, you're going to continue. Let me help you with one small word. Former Minister of Education, Babalola Borishade, in 2007, in 2005 or 6 or thereabout, Obasanjo sent Babalola Borishade for Minister of Education. The House rejects Babalola Borishade 11 months, and it still happened. Obasanjo keep insisting, just like as they did with Magu. You understand? When Buhari sent Magu, they said no. Buhari remained Magu there. Babalola Borishade. Obasanjo, 11 months, they reject him. Obasanjo keep pushing, and he became Minister of Education. Father, go online and say it.
Add to what Paul is saying. Ibrahim Magu, the
Father,
former EFCC
has been talking since. Can you take it to the next person, please?
There was security report on him 3 times. But Buhari said to them, listen, this is my EFCC chairman. The president of Nigeria is too powerful to tell you, oh, the president, forget those stories. Okay, I rest my case. I don't want to be like Kenneth.
Anything not to be like it. Next now, welcome. Thank you for joining us. This is next now. What do you make of this? Tinubu decides to release Nnamdi Kanu before the election. His coalition has grown again, And do you think I'm beginning to suspect that these governors that are rushing to Tinubu right now is because they saw Emefiele has to see the light of this. Since he went away, then Fubara is going to London to go and beg him. They were like, this is too much, we better join this party, otherwise this guy is going to come for us. Do you suspect that all this action that Tinubu is taking is also to scare these people to come and join his party?
Well, there's there's credence to what you have said, forefathers. You know, the end of what these political guys can do, these small stars that want to just grab power can do, is not known, really. You can do anything to grab power. One thing I must say is, I think Dati Ahmed's statement is very true. The statement he made just after the election. Democracy is not for people who don't value their own freedom, who cannot make their own choices. That is the truth. And the biggest problem we have in Nigeria is not actually the leaders. It's actually the 220 million people who are subservient to those leaders. That is the problem we have in Nigeria. It's not about those. How many leaders are there? Are they up to 10,000? They are not up to 10,000. But it is the people who don't even know what their right is. What, in example, the River State situation, you can't try that in any developed world. They'll occupy. Look, civil service will be shut down. That IBAS will run away. That's what will happen in the developed world. You try that rubbish. The president tries that rubbish. They will shut down everything. Every office will be closed. By the time the man comes, airport will not even work. Will you send soldiers to go and blow up the people? When the people don't know what their rights are, what their human rights are, then democracy doesn't work. It doesn't work. So I don't even think the question is Nigerian population ready? Example, some people want to keep the North so backward that in the North, maybe one person will throw carrots, everybody will just gather and go and follow the person. Like somebody here say, and it affects most of us here are affected, especially people that are over 40. In this even in this discussion, they still have that mentality that somebody would somebody will go inherit Buhari's 12 million votes. What kind of statement is that? Inherit Buhari's based on what? El-Rufai is the one that inherit. How does he inherit a vote? Don't you end the vote? Don't you end the vote by what you're saying? So
I think in a way, does it not end the vote if he shares the same kind of support?
The fact that we are even thinking that somebody will get inherit, it means that we are already conditioning our mindset that El-Rufai will just turn up and then without doing anything, without even looking at his antecedents.
That's not the case. We have said about because of his the things he's done.
I'm not saying
please sentiment.
Look at what I'm saying.
Aminu Kano vote. We are inherited by somebody in Kano. That is Nigeria politics in the North. You are talking emotions.
I read in between the lines. Stop listening literally. I'm saying that for you to even be talking like that Nigeria is not even ready. For you to even be thinking that
okay, I get your point, but I'm discussing politics.
Yeah, I even propelling the wrong things. For you to even be thinking that way, that somebody will just turn up and then that means that the people are not even ready to even make objective choices. Choices based on what they see. They're going to make choices based on how they feel. Religion will guide their choices. Ethnicity will guide their choices. Nigeria is not ready. Are we ready for this democracy at all? What are we talking about? That's the way I see it. And look, there is another generation of Nigeria. Unfortunately, there's another generation of Nigerians. People that, if there's this recent guy that has been talking, Peter or something, I'm listening to him. There's another generation of Nigerians which are between the ages of 18 to 35. Those guys have a different mindset from what most of us here are talking about. Those guys don't care about all these primordial political sentiments. They don't care. And if we are not careful, what will happen is that there will be a lost generation in Nigeria. People that are above 40 who are still thinking in this old system.
Hold on. Sorry, hold on. Let me say something. I think we are drifting from the conversation, but I think it's also worthy of going in that direction about the lost generation or the generation you're talking about. My worry is that this generation, they may be worse, actually. You know why? Because they've been raised in a culture where there is no sense of integrity, morality. The only thing they understand is the end result. That is what that it may actually be worse than generation. At least the generation that came before these ones, they still had that tie to the way you earn your money a little bit. I remember when we were younger, people felt like if you earn your money through drug dealing, people don't want to go near you, or you are a little bit wayo man, people don't want to go near you. Now it's over. Now it's welcome. It's different.
Forefather, you are missing the game. Forefather, if I lose my job in Lagos, if I go to my village will take care of me. If I lose my job now and go to my village will send me back, say you carry poly back, come on, go back. There's nothing for you in the village.
That's what I'm saying now.
So everything is changing. So think it from that direction.
Fathers, let me tell you something. Burkina Faso, you're talking of today, How old was that guy when he took over power?
Traore, I'm
Yes.
not sure. I'm not
Traore
sure.
was under 35 years old.
Yeah, that's
Now,
for sure.
now let me tell you something. That guy changed the order. Completely changed the order. That is why the old completely changed the order of things. Let me tell you what is happening. Leadership, if you fail, and it's the vacuum. When they say power does not accept a vacuum, it's the same way leadership. If you fail in your generation to provide leadership, another generation will come and you will be lost. What I'm saying is that many of us here, especially people that are above 40, that are still thinking in the way of the Tinubus, we are trying to integrate and the thing, and we are still thinking that politics that was played in the 60s is the politics we should be enhancing. We are not realizing that times are changing, and we are still pushing that narrative. We will be stuck. We will be cut out. We will be completely cut out. That's what I want to say on that part. On the part of this, that's why I don't get into this gimmick of El-Rufai and whether he will look Tinubu on the idea of whether Tinubu will release Nnamdi Kanu. In the whole of Nigeria, the only society that is truly egalitarian is the Easterners. They don't care about that. All that, whether Tinubu release Nnamdi Kanu or not. Look, if it's not affecting the man that is selling clothes in Aba, that man that is selling clothes in Aba, it's not affecting his market. He will not vote for what.
But what does this egalitarian mean even?
Egalitarian means that it is based on their choices and their interests. It is not based on one person come and tell you.
Egalite, the French like that one.
Everybody follow like this. Everybody follow like everybody.
Equality. But is it a good thing though? Is not always a good thing? Societies that are very equal are not. They don't do so well though.
No, the point is this. The point is this. It allows for everybody to strive. Now, the other part might say is okay. It is easy for when you have a society where you have maybe an Oba that is directing everything. You will say it's good for administration because Oba can just tell everybody follow like this. Everybody will follow like this. But that society does not allow for debate. That society does not allow for people.
Hold on. I think we have to ask ourselves a bit more question about that. But that's another topic. This egalitarian thing, I've heard a lot of people say, "Oh yeah, it's good." Igbo don't have king. I don't think it's a good thing.
No,
Father, in a country where you have 25% of the nation happen to be an egalitarian community, society, tribe, is a very good thing. That's what we call America, what we call independent, because they balance where the vote is going. They swing anywhere. You understand? You don't convince them with certain things and other things. It is better. Very, very good. I like what the Easterners are doing. You can't just sway them like that. I think I support it.
It sounds good until you compare them with societies that don't have that. You know how they say societies that do
for Father, all my Christians people who vote because of one thing in America based on gay and other thing. Look at what Trump is doing them today. You understand? That's how it is. That's why you also need independence to balance whatever thing you are doing.
Can I let me conclude. But I'm just saying that when they compete with others, they don't tend to do well. It's like saying society say women have a good voice.
Father, it's not good for a whole nation like Iran, where the whole country practice it. It's not good. But if you say like a 25% of a population try to do things like that, I think it's good for that nation. It is good for that community. It is good for that society. You understand? It balanced equation because they swing to anywhere that convince them more.
It's not helping. It's not helping politically. They are not. It's not making them very organized politically.
Excuse me. Let me ask you a question. You talk too much. You run commentary on everything. Let me ask you a question. No, sorry. I don't know why you're laughing.
You come and you start fighting me already. What is this now?
Let me ask you a question on this proposition. So, of all the, let's say, the regions, okay, or the if like tribes in Nigeria, which society, which tribal group, which ethnic group has, more progress than the Igbos, which is the Republican, what you call egalitarian. So tell me which group has made more progress than the Igbos.
I would say the Southwest has benefited from the fact of Nigeria
over time. What way?
In terms of infrastructure that has been built, you can say it's because of Lagos.
That's a lie, Father. That's a lie. Fofara.
Why are we saying that's a lie? All the seaports are there. Dangote refinery is there.
Fofara, I will prove it. I will prove it to you because I'm from there. Fofara, there is 6 southwestern states, if you want to say so. Lagos was the capital of Nigeria for a very long time. Every great infrastructure that will stand tall in Lagos, all built by federal government. The seaport you are talking, the international airport you are talking, the railway that you are talking. You understand? The so-called First Act 77, the things that make Lagos a bit stand out. Do you understand? All the estates, all built by federal government. So I don't know what you're talking about. So then when you carve out Lagos out of Southwest, no, let me land. You ask a question, take answer. When you now take Lagos out of Southwest, you understand? You see Southwest like the Southeast. What the both region now achieve is education, and both region achieve it almost equal. So I don't see any difference.
I saying take Kanu out of the north, take Enugu out of the southeast, take Lagos.
They ask you about Igbo. Don't carry me go Kanu. I said take Lagos out of Southwest. What is the difference between egalitarian and the society that you are talking about? I take Lagos off. What is the difference between the remaining 5 southeastern states? They work for themselves and they achieve a lot.
Father, every system has its own advantage and disadvantage.
Correct.
I was going to say that the Southwest
but excuse me. But hold on. But what? Excuse me. But what?
I think you can make this. You can make this a topic for another day.
Yeah.
Make it another topic.
This one that
what is democracy?
Let's
get back to the point. Who is next? Actually, I think it's Paul, isn't it?
Let me round
yeah,
up.
please go ahead. Finish your point.
Let me round up on the idea of the defection. You see, the defection to everybody running to APC and all that. Of course, APC have already set the wrong foundation, especially when Adam Soshiomola said, if you have sins, come into APC and your sins are forgiven. However, there's something about life, about people, about the cycle of life. There's always a belief that after every 50 years, people history repeats itself. But it seems in Nigeria, history repeats itself earlier than 50 years. Now, everybody seems to be running to APC. Are we realizing something about this present regime? This present administration? It's actually mimicking Abacha's administration. The way everybody was saying, who does the cap fit? All the political parties started putting the cap on Abacha's head. That it is Abacha that the cap fits. Now, if you are in any place and everybody is supporting you, throwing flowers at you, there is a problem. It means that you are in the wrong place. You are doing the wrong thing. Now, for everybody to want to decamp to APC, even Tinubu himself should be worried. It means that his own time is close by. That is what I will say. For any good democracy, even you that is the president, your responsibility is to make sure that the opposition voices are heard. That is what makes democracy thrive. The opposition voices must be heard. So, in fact, even Buhari can be considered.
I don't know what your point is. Are you trying to say people come to you, you run away, and people run away from you run to them? Is that how it's supposed to work?
Forefathers, even Buhari can be considered to be a better Democrat than Tinubu today. Do you know why? Amechi really wanted Rivers State. But Buhari did not now get to the extent whereby he took it away by force. Amechi Kuru, there was a time Rivers State I lived there. It was so hot, especially after 2029 election. They did not declare results for like 2 weeks.
Commissioner of Police Uba.
2 weeks, yes. If Buhari was now
2019 election.
Yes. If Buhari really wanted to, the same way what Tinubu is doing now, they would have thrown away Wike back then. Do you understand? They would have thrown Wike away. Amechi was a sitting governor when Wike won the election.
Yeah, but hold on. The trend doesn't support your argument because when PDP fell, there was already division within PDP. But
I'm talking of 2019 forefathers. My point is this: when everybody seems, especially in a democracy,
2019, Amechi was not a city governor.
No, yeah, please
15.
Please try and listen to my progression, okay? So if everybody is moving to you in a democracy, especially in a big country like Nigeria where you have 220 million people, estimate. Listen to what Segun Showomi said. APC cannot contain everybody. So you that is the president, you have to be worried to make sure that you have strong people in the opposition. If they all move to you, it means that you are about to implode. That's my final. Thank you, Paul. You can have the floor.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Let me just quickly come in because I'm getting old now to stay on this platform for so long. I can't do it any longer.
You have not been here for 1 hour. If 30 minutes, you've really been here. You're complaining already.
I'm telling you, I take some break, and I think it's just good for my health. I don't know why.
Do you think that nobody has truly answered this question? That there's a little bit of fear in all these politicians while they are running to APC with what they saw happen with Fubara? Because is it by coincidence that just after the Fubara this thing, the flood gate opened?
So for father, either of both also work. So like let me start with one of the biggest one that shocked everybody, the former governor of Delta State, Okowa. They play politics and they play real politics, which is dirty politics. Okowa, they make Okowa. Now Okowa is saying it, you understand, behind the scene, like he also regrets. Not like he regrets the action, but over time, Atiku make him regret. How will Atiku contest for president 15, 19, 20? Atiku will be 81 or thereabout. Also want to come again. Just imagine if Atiku raise his hand and convince the North and give to Obi. You understand? Remember, Tinubu is putting all the disruption, like Ali Baba will tell you, over this Labour Party, PDP, and the likes. If Atiku stand up and work with the PDP chairman, maybe surprise the PDP chairman with the Sultan of Sokoto. The Sultan of Sokoto want to see him, only for him to see Atiku there. They convince him. They know the PDP chairman is working with Atiku. They know certain people that they are using to create problem in that party is working. They can work for the greater good.
PDP chairman is working with Wike. What is the?
He's working with Wike now. That's the destruction inside the party. That's exactly what I'm saying.
Is correct. You call that PDAPC.
Exactly. So that's the thing. So if Atiku now will work on that ban and says, you can do the right thing. We can change this game. We can play this game very well. You understand? The West today, if Obi campaign very well, Obi can take over the West. And when we say, South, like as it used to be back in the days, North and South. Obi can clear the old Southeast. Obi can clear South, which means Obi have edge. Tinubu is losing his popularity in the North tremendously. You understand?
Obi cannot clear the South as it stands now.
Obi can clear the South if they go
that's based on
their house.
Or based on popular votes.
Because I'm
asking for father. What's his premise? Is it based on popular vote or rigging?
Or rigging. That makes sense.
Wike's rigging is humongous. The guy.
So for father.
No, this is a simple yes. It's a question: rigging or popular votes?
Rigging.
Thank you.
For father, premium times, People Gazette, you understand, they dig into the last election in Rivers State. It is clear. INEC can't even oppose it that Obi won Rivers State, and Obi won Delta State, and Obi won Edo State, and Obi would naturally clear the whole Southeast State, which means, like as the tradition is supposed to be before they change it to this geopolitical zone, which means Obi naturally have take over South. You understand? If you can take Southeast, South, you understand, and drag Southwest. You understand? Let me land. Then if the North back Obi because they are losing tremendous relationship with Tinubu today, Obi will get good votes. You understand? And play that politics again. Politics simply mean you can play the politics. Remember, Obi can naturally take all the Christian states. Now I'm talking about the middle belt states, the North Central. You understand? Then if Obi can touch some votes, you understand, from Northwest, all these things, it's not the campaign that Obi will go to TV. Obi will go visit them. It is their strong men that will stand behind Obi and tell the people what they want. And remember, that part is very, very easy. and everything. But if Atiku could not even stand up and said, let me be like IBP, let me be godfather, than for me to fight for them. Maybe choose not to fall his hand when he want to come for 2003, see the handwriting that Obasanjo is not willing to go. IBP just relax and is enjoying statement today. Atiku can do that thing. You understand? Because Tinubu is losing it. And that's the exact, let me just land with this thing. That's the exact, let me just land with this now so that you put your question. That is the exact game that Tinubu is playing. So Tinubu is playing the game of all these people that Tinubu is carrying. Tinubu is taking what they call structure. But Tinubu is not taking the people that will vote. The people that will vote are suffering. You understand? They are suffering. They are doing everything. But if Tinubu take over the whole structure, that's a good way of rigging. You understand? If I take over the whole structure, if I take over the whole thing, if I rig the election, it may make the election look a little bit clean. Then another way round of the election. Now I'm talking about the international community, like the so-called America. Lucky the way the election is going right now. This is not the time where America involved in our election because there is a new president called Trump who don't even want to care with Africa. So Trump dealing with Africa is anything we want there, bully them, we'll get it. Africans are very weak people. That's how Trump said, just bully them, we'll get it. You don't need to play any type of politics like Barack Obama tried to play the politics and everybody call, make phone call, threaten Jonathan, then Jonathan just cave in. Trump don't care. Trump is not involved in all this politics of let us put our person there. So Trump, anybody want to be there, be. Once we need anything, we bully, we will get it. Simple as that. So Atiku can make that thing happen. Like AY is talking about this air fighting. It is easy to convince the North. It is very easy to convince the North.
I wanted to ask is,
so go ahead.
Is the landscape ready to oppose the current government? Because if I'm going to take Jonathan's fall as an example, the force that was required to dethrone him, and it wasn't easy. He almost opposed it and wanted to remain in office. The force that needed to remove Jonathan from office was the force that says northern leaders have to have their own leadership. And it was the turn of the North. And this Jonathan guy has usurped it and wants to even run. And he would have been the longest democratic president in Nigeria if he had succeeded with the second term, because he would have been in office for 10 years in total instead of 8 years. So the forces that wanted to stop him were great. But do we have that type of force now?
It was only one force, America. It was only one force, America. It is not about the Northern. It was America. Remember, you remember when they kidnapped our girls? Remember when they kidnapped those girls and everything? America said immediately that we can help rescue the girl. That was a very good politics when America refused to sell weapons. June 16, 2014, America stopped buying one bit of crude oil from our hand. Then the same America said, we will help you. It's just a politics to make these people fail in everything. Jonathan was completely panicked about the West. See, assuming Jonathan tell the West, like Abacha did to Canada and the like, say, go to hell. Jonathan would have been president.
Paul, Tinubu had issues too. All of them had issues. Jonathan had issues. But I believe that the force that was coming after Jonathan, when they played a video of some of the opposition against Jonathan, that tells you that it's different. These people were talking about forming a parallel government. They were not like Peter Obi. They were not like anybody that opposed Buhari. These guys meant business. They were feeling like Northerners were being ostracized. And they were talking about forming a parallel government in Nigeria. Nobody was able to arrest them. That should have scared you.
Forefather, it is the power of the media. When they are telling you that the numbers of places that they kidnap in Borno State is bigger than Ireland, you are hearing all these things in the media. The numbers of places that they take over, you understand, in Katsina is almost the size of Belgium. This is the power of media. All these things is what the West was doing. That is the people Jonathan were panic over. And Jonathan know that even if he forcefully take the power and rig that election, that he won the election again, you understand, he don't want a straight bullet in his head. He don't want to enjoy anything. But right now, what I'm telling you right now, Trump don't care. So Trump, we want anything from this weak continent, we just bully them, we get it. They don't want to play all those
I'm not talking
politics,
about
soft
Trump.
power and everything.
I'm just trying to get to the fact that maybe Tinubu is going to make it again because the forces are not aligned enough to want to get rid of him. The Northerners don't care too much right now because they just feel like let him have his time.
No, forefather.
He's so selfish that he doesn't care about.
Now you go. Greed of Atiku is also bring the greed of Tinubu to say, let me do more so that if I read the election, it won't look like I win the election. Because if Tinubu take over everywhere, remember when Reagan won his election because of the kidnappings, Algeria and the likes, what happened? Reagan literally take over the whole America. Did he end up achieve anything with it? It is hard. You understand? When you get all those type of popular vote and everything, it will end up overwhelm you. Because at the end of the day, when you take power, you're going to disappoint a lot of people.
What kind of history are you reading here? Reagan is one of the most worshipped president in America. They say
the way Reagan won the election and the way Reagan ruled, that's exactly what Desta is telling you. Reagan literally win nearly every state and everything.
Reagan was not the most celebrated president.
It was not the way he won. That's what you are talking.
Republican Party.
That was what you are talking. The way he won, not the way he governed.
I don't know about that. Either way, they looked at it holistically, just like Kennedy. Democrats praised Kennedy a lot. The Republicans basically worship Reagan. They put him as the standard.
The way he won, the strategy that he used in winning.
Okay,
not govern. So if Tinubu now take over the whole state, it will help him in terms of rigging. But like Desta will tell you, if we end up overwhelming, by the time, take for example, Tinubu take over Delta State, take over Edo State, take over all these states and everything, then when people feel that this is disappointment again, it causes more problem for him. Because it's his party in stay in power.
No problem.
Do you see
Can I interrupt? I'm sorry, Mr. Paul. Sorry for interrupting. Niger, I pushed back, so you have till 8 p.m. So I don't know what time that is in your time, but I pushed back to give you more time, given that you started late. You see? I don't know. You still complain. Sharp. I'm just telling you, I pushed back.
See, don't start now. Don't start. Don't start with me. You see, I'm going to be watching you closely, Adama. I will watch you closely. I'm going to be watching the time closely too. Don't worry. I will make sure I close before your show starts.
All right, no problem.
All right.
Thank you. All right,
Thank you. All right, so you see, we have more time now, so no need to overrush it. It doesn't mean that we have 2 hours, so we don't have up to 2 hours. All right. So my only point was that I worry that the Omens are not ready. They are not ready to get rid of this president yet. If they were ready, they will be forming coalition right now, saying, anything but this guy. But instead, they can't even be bothered. The PDP came out last week and like, no coalition, never. No, if alliances, maybe. And we are debating whether we like El-Rufai or not. You don't hate Tinubu enough then. Because if you hate Tinubu enough, you will embrace anybody to get rid of Tinubu at the moment. So, and I get a feeling that because of that, he might
Father, it's just like the last recapitalization, the last 2 recapitalization they did in Nigeria. You understand, where you see what they call mergers and acquisition. When they did that banking recapitalization during Soludo time when he was CBN governor, it is simple. You understand. Forefather, the name called Coca-Cola today is more expensive than any other thing that they have. You have to understand that thing. When they did all those type of things, you don't want to expect that STB, Standard Trust Bank, acquire UBA, but they named the bank UBA. Remember, Elubelu owned STB, Standard Trust Bank. He acquired Almighty Wiseman Bank with UBA. But they're still naming UBA. You understand? So many banks come together, but they keep the big name, the household name. So when they say those things in PDP, you don't expect PDP to go one place and bury the name PDP. It don't make no sense. I know these politicians have disappointed us to some extent. No matter you want to do anything, at least keep the name in PDP. Let it look like we can do whatever we want to do. We acquire the CPC, we acquire the Ds, but let's keep it with this big name. You understand? Remember, AD was not big. That's why they can let AD go. You understand? But not for PDP to say PDP will join another party. Then they name him another name. That's a slap. It never happened before. That name PDP is still big.
I hear your argument there, though. But I think, if I'm not mistaken, there was another party. Okay, fine. That party wasn't as big as PDP. But PDP is not a big party right now. They've lost all their...
Household name. Household name.
Yeah, fine.
Household name.
I hear that argument. But other parties gave up their name to form APC, if I'm not mistaken, and took
Not
power.
so big. These are minor party. Like as you see, the Diamond Bank and Access Bank come together.
Okay,
You understand?
okay.
They are at par when they come together, but not like First Bank to Diamond Bank. Then the bank start bearing Diamond Bank. No, now.
I hear what you are saying. You don't expect to be the same. Question I will ask you, please.
Let me
Before the
say
next
this.
person speak is
Papa,
that-
let me say
sorry,
this.
let me just ask him before the next person speak. Do you think that if, let's say, because APC, PDP is so big and they don't have a lot of governors in there, are they going to be any effective? Are they not going to be like every other small party then, if the governors are not present? Why is it that just because of the name they're going to get vote when the governors are not there to back them?
PDP is acting like my wife. What God cannot do does not exist. They don't want to work. They are lazy. They don't want to work. Go do the work. This thing that will be is traveling around country. Go see anywhere, anything happen, go greet people. Go play the real politics. Go play the dirty politics. Go close door in midnight and play politics. How you can bring these people back together. You understand? Go play those type of politics. They are not doing it. And that's exactly where they will call Tinubu, in as much as he's playing very barbaric politics. That's how they'll still call him a strategic politics. Tinubu knows he's going to rig the election, but if he makes himself more popular, if he rig the election, it look like he won the election. Because at the end of the day, it's not Tinubu that will rig the election, it is the governors that will rig the election. So if the governor is his own party, then he won.
I feel like Tinubu is a politician, where he is governing and ruling for politicians. And he knows if he has the politicians, he doesn't need any other people. He will govern. Sorry,
Let me say this. Let me say this. What you actually see in APC is not new. PDP used to be, during their time, they used to be one party state. So it's not new. Other parties people from other parties used to decamp to PDP like tomorrow, no day. So what you are seeing is not new. Just that you people that don't believe politicians are the same. Let me ask you: do you not believe politicians are the same?
He started again now.
No, the thing is, look at it, right? I know one day you and Mr. Oti will realize this, but that's the reality. You don't still believe it. Me, this thing don't shake me. I know Nigerian politicians. I know them. I said it. If Peter will be the cat to APC tomorrow, I will not be surprised. They are politicians. It's you that is killing yourself, that is using emotion. They don't send
since
you.
we have time now, since we have
their
time,
interest.
This issue is deeper than just position. It's Nigerian thing. Nigerians are too easy to incentivize to sell out.
Yeah, they don't care about people. They care about themselves.
That is scary.
Yeah, they care about themselves.
Nigerians will sell quickly. They don't ask questions.
Abiola vice president, you know what happened to him? Bamaga Tuko?
Yeah.
I came before Masca.
Oh, you came before Masca. Okay.
No.
So you want to speak?
No, Jide didn't come before me. How would you have come before me?
Look at that, Jide. You see what you have done for yourself, eh? You see yourself now, Jide. You see your life. Where you were vexing and walking out.
I came on the platform because of what you guys did to Jide, and the man is the first person who wants to attack me.
Jide, you see your life.
I see my life.
You see, you best come on. Somebody came to fight for you. You go after that one too. All right, sorry about that. But it's all good anyway. It's all fun. I'm sure Jide was just a little bit passionate about Burkina Faso, what is going on there. So, but what do you make of this discussion? Because I think this is becoming
who are asking the question?
Danger.
Forefathers. Who are asking the question?
Is it Masca's turn
or
Jide's turn?
No, but I've not said anything, have I?
I think you came after them.
Masca can speak before me. It's okay.
You came after them.
I came after who?
You came after Masker and Jide.
No.
I think they were here before you. Were they not here before OT? OT was the last one to come in.
Yes, I came
Look
before
at that. OT wants to join jump the
before
queue now.
GD. Oti, just to break the bad news to you, the forefathers removed you so that you can put me. And I think subsequently you remove somebody and then bring you back.
No, I didn't do any such thing. Come on. Stop trying to malign my good name. Eh?
Look, the thing is this: I'm not gonna speak for more than a minute. Really, I don't have a lot
Wow.
to go to this. You know, it's just
that'll be first.
no. Listen,
No,
it's
the
gonna
amount
fight
of
with
time
everybody
Oti
here.
you want to speak, it doesn't
No.
matter.
Sorry,
We should
believe me.
be law abiding. I'm here before you. That you want to speak for 30 seconds. How long do you think I want to speak to?
5 minutes, 7 minutes.
Okay, but let's get back to the topic now. So, are we worried? Do you think this is a democratic problem now that we are going to have in Nigeria, or
But
is
Oti's
just part of?
question is valid. Who are you asking? You have to.
You are the one I'm asking now.
Okay.
You're welcome, Masker. See, the question I'm asking you is the defections that is going on. Is it unusual? Is it to the scale we are seeing right now? Because it started from Buhari's government. The scale of defection, is it unusual for Nigeria? And if so, is this a threat to democracy, as some have been saying in the media lately?
Okay. This is an academic question, actually, and I would send you. I was doing a program. It's exactly a question they asked. It's really academic. But to answer it, my answer would be that, look, this thing you're talking about is not a new thing. If you're actually following Nigerian politics, if you count the number of parties that you could join, you would actually get confused at some point. You take Kwankwaso and count the number of parties. Everybody has from one party gone to the other. So I think it's totally a waste of time to really bother about. The truth, this is how we do our politics. There's really no political party in this country.
You mean at this scale and at this pace?
Yes.
Wow, that's crazy. Oh,
yes.
okay.
People were like, if you join PDP was the in thing. This APC is just a new contraption that is just gaining weight. Look, for me, there are two critical issues. The first issue, yes, this is not even a party thing. If you are looking at it from a party perspective, then you don't get the problem. For me, the real challenge, the real problem is that, yes, people are going into APC, but why? It is simply because of one individual, and I don't like that. That, for me, is the real problem. But I actually joined because I think we don't get the real issues. We are talking about something that has been there around us. It's like you are worried about the woman's wrapper instead of her character and what she's doing to her family and her husband. You are here talking about, oh, she's wearing this kind of wrapper, she's removing it, she's changing. Of course, she's a woman. That's what she will do. If it's a naming ceremony, the wrapper she will wear in the morning is going to be different from the one in the afternoon. She will have done like 5 wrappers for this party.
Hey, this wrapper thing. I begin to think about women tie wrapper. This
is what I'm saying. So some things, if you don't pay attention to it, it looks strange. But if you are used to it, it's normal. I mean, a woman would not be surprised. Like, why are you talking about the wrapper? That's what we do. That's how we are. I think what we should do is what Jide was talking about. There are real critical issues, even if we are not going to spend the whole night talking about it. Things like this issue in Burkina Faso. This is you especially you forefather is talking about security, law and order. When you could see the signs that people are trying to take out a leader of a country, a leader that is doing well, that will serve as a yardstick for other leaders within the continent. And we're saying that we're not going to talk about it. It's ridiculous that if we were talking about another major important issue, I would have understood. But it's clear that if
I think the reason why I was talking about this defection going on is because I feel at least in my own view, based on what I know about Nigeria so far, is that one, Emefiele is still in jail. Tinubu removed Fubara from office, and then suddenly there's a floodgate of defection going on. I feel like, okay, maybe there's a level of causality, one leading to the other here, that is going on that we are not paying attention to. People just say that, it's because of the election, but the election has always been coming in since the last election. We already knew that. Why is it happening now, just after Fubara issue occurred? But I get the fact that this is normal for Nigerian politics.
It's normal, but what I'm saying, forefathers, I take your point, but I think you are couching the point wrongly. If you're worried, if the topic is that Nigeria is tending towards a one-man state, for me, it will be apt. But if the issue is defection of politicians, this happens. I can hardly think of any serious. Even Peter Obi, I know he has been in 3 separate parties.
You see, now you got to the core of the point I was trying to make. That one-man state aspect, the unusual aspect is what I'm trying to.
So our politicians, what I'm saying, the starting point even is to understand that there's no political parties in Nigeria.
Yeah.
It's only contraceptions. People just make arrangements. That's the proper word to call them, arrangements. People just make arrangements to get into power. So it's really not defection. There's nothing like a defection. I was in APC. I moved to this place. I go back to APC. So this is normal. For me, it's normal. And I know it's normal. It's not that I'm naive or something like that.
Okay, I get the arrangement aspect of it. How is it that the El-Rufai couldn't make an arrangement? So some things break the arrangement.
What do you mean by El-Rufai was the strongest member of PDP? What are you saying?
APC too.
He is moved to APC. He is now in SDP. What is this? What are we talking about?
No, I mean the arrangement. They didn't come to an arrangement with him to become. This is somebody that fought for a government to become.
This is what I say. Look, I think we are just wasting precious.
Masca, why don't you just go ahead and talk about Burkina Faso? You made a very good case for it.
I have
other people will follow. You can change the whole topic.
No, it's not me that
everybody wants to talk about Burkina Faso. Go ahead, talk about it.
No, I don't want to talk about Burkina Faso. What I'm talking about is the topic I'm interested. The fact that somebody suggested that let's talk about Burkina Faso, we turned him down, and rather we are talking about what I believe is normal, is routine for our parties. This is the topic I want to talk about.
Yeah,
I believe this topic we are talking about, there's nothing new. The same El-Rufai you're talking about, forefathers, he's very strong in PDP. He was a set-up member in APC. Now he's in SDP. Our politicians changing party is not a big deal because these parties are not really parties. If you go and check YouTube, you'll see there's this guy, Salihu Lukman. He constantly keeps saying that the parties don't even function. You have a neck of a party, they don't meet. These are the issues. If we really want to talk about the politics, these are the real issues we should be talking about, that the parties don't exist as parties. So these are the topics. For me, that is all I wanted to say, really. And
if they don't exist, so there are special purpose vehicles, as the people like to call them, eh?
You will be disrespecting special purpose. There's nothing special about the Nigeria. No, I'm serious. Wow. Because the members keeps changing. Remember, you get confused. Sincerely.
Yeah, sad.
Even special purpose bike, they would have some organs that are functional.
Sorry. I'm just wanting to move on before time.
It's okay. Good to see everybody. And sorry to come back on you strongly today, but it's okay. I agree that I believe Burkina Faso is a very critical issue. We should look at it.
Let's look at it then, since it looks like we've all talked about the election issue, and we've done that for 2.5 hours actually. I think we've done justice to that. Everybody has had their time on it, apart from one person. Clearly, I remember you, OT. I see you there.
No, I haven't spoken about it.
You want to talk about it too? I thought you were talking about Burkina Faso. When we want to start our
wherever.
Oh, nice, whatever. It's all right. All right. Let's see what is going on in Burkina Faso, and let's see what this guy is saying.
And I don't mind calling them out, but Captain Tory and Burkina Faso, as they know that both, whether it's their gold reserves, that is all those proceeds are just in exchange to protect the junta regime. There's a number of examples across, even in Sudan. What's going on with the rapid support forces and Burhan of the Sudan forces? When you get down to it, is all about the revenue that can be drawn out of that, and there are nefarious actors in the CCP or in sometimes Russia are complicit in those activities.
Okay, well, you can't imagine how frustrating it seems to me that this mineral-rich continent has not been able to move.
Absolutely, Chairman.
So that is part of it, and let's see if I can find something about the coup. I think this is something on the coup. Let's go there and see what this guy is saying.
The successful thwarting of a significant coup attempt aimed at overthrowing the military government led by Captain Ibrahim Traore. The alleged plot, which was set to culminate in an assault on the presidential palace on April 16, 2025, was reportedly orchestrated by a network of current and former military officers collaborating with external terrorist leaders. Security Minister Mahamadou Sana revealed that the masterminds behind the coup were based in neighboring Ivory Coast. He identified two former Burkinabe army officers, Major Joani Compaore and Lieutenant Abdurrahmani Bare, as key figures in the conspiracy. The plotters allegedly sought to exploit religious and traditional leaders within Burkina Faso to sway military personnel into supporting their cause. In response to the failed coup, the Burkinabe government has intensified its crackdown on perceived dissent. Several individuals, including military personnel and civilians, have been arrested under suspicion of involvement in the destabilization efforts. This incident marks the latest in a series of coup attempts since Captain Traore seized power in September 2022. Prior to this, the country experienced similar upheavals, including a fourth coup attempt in January 2024, where a network of serving and retired security personnel, along with civilians, conspired to destabilize the nation's institutions. The recurring nature of these attempts underscores the fragile political landscape in Burkina Faso, where the military junta continues to grapple with internal and external challenges to its authority. The alleged involvement of Ivory Coast in the coup plot has strained relations between the two neighboring countries. Burkina Faso's junta has frequently accused Ivory Coast of harboring exiled opponents and supporting efforts to destabilize the current regime. The Ivorian authorities have yet to comment on the latest allegations. The geopolitical ramifications of the failed coup in Burkina Faso stretch beyond the country's borders. The Sahel region, already plagued by jihadist violence and political instability, continues to be a hotspot for conflict and power struggles. Burkina Faso's involvement in the new anti-ECOWAS alliance, along with Mali and Niger, signals a significant shift in regional dynamics, one that could have lasting implications for the future of West Africa. The new alliance, which has distanced itself from ECOWAS and former colonial power France, has also drawn closer to Russia, seeking security partnerships in the face of ongoing jihadist insurgencies. This realignment has raised concerns in both the West and neighboring African states, who are unsure of how to respond to the increasing influence of Russia in the region. In particular, the growing influence of Russia, as well as accusations against Ivory Coast for harboring Burkinabe dissidents, point to the ongoing regional struggle for influence in an increasingly unstable Sahel. With Burkina Faso on the edge of a new political and security crisis, the situation in the region is poised to continue evolving in unpredictable and potentially dangerous ways. Your perspective matters. What do you make of Burkina Faso's major coup plot? Share your thoughts and insights in the comment section below. If you like this video, be sure to
All right. So I think Masca is gone, and it's Jide's turn to speak. So now you can address this Burkinabe issue that has come up with the coup plot. To be fair, there has been so many that you can't even keep up with the amount of people that want to get rid of that guy. Personally, I just wanted to get rid of his uniform, that's all, and become a civilian and rule the country if he wants to. So what do you make of this development about coups, counter coups, accusation? And what I don't like about it is that there's so many accusations flying around, we don't know which one is really true, because none of these people have truly been arrested and confessed openly to it. For all we know, they are just ways of getting rid of opposition leaders. That said, I've seen a lady in a video, I think it's a Nigerian woman. I don't know whether any of you have seen it. The Nigerian lady was talking about the life in Burkina Faso. She was saying that a lot of things are free because of this guy. He's made a lot of things for free of charge. Education, healthcare, all those other things is free of charge. I don't know how true this is, but that's what she's saying in the video. Whether that's a propaganda, I don't know. It sounds like she's talking from her own experience. So I don't know what you make of this coup plot. And I don't care whether he's a dictator or not, as long as he's doing the right thing by his people. That's what I care about. He's trying to get rid of what.
Sorry, Jide, before you go ahead, Father, can you research, you know Wodemaya, right? The Ghanaian guy. He was just in Burkina Faso. You find interesting stuff about, you know. Yeah, he just went to Burkina Faso.
I know he went to South Africa too.
No, interesting stuff. But I think he's still in Burkina, or he just went there recently. You know, you can throw in there, Burkina Faso since 1960 has had only 3,000 kilometers of paved road. This guy is constructing 5,000 kilometers of paved road. All equipment were brought in. There's no Julius Berger. He brought in all the machinery, and he's having the youth of the country. He trained them, and they are using it.
Yeah, that's him in Burkina Faso.
So the equipment is brought in from where?
From the West. Now you can see cats and all that. You know, he made a very good video. You can see it. Wodemaya is not a
I gotta go back home. I need that money. As much as I love what's happening in Burkina Faso, I think we cannot just take everything look like and think. I know there are still Western companies working there.
I think you can allow Jide talk, but this is not the video. Get the video of he showed the paved roads as they are paving the roads. Jide can go ahead.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
Thank you so much, Father. So this story is a very big deal all over the continent of Africa. In fact, in 2 days' time, today is Saturday. I think in 2 days' time there'll be some protests in different parts of Africa. There'll be a lot of protests going on to condemn the attempt on his life to oust him. So this is a very big story. So first of all, we need to understand the background. What even made him to come into power? I think it was Blair Compaoré that was in power, if I can remember. Someone can fact check me if I'm wrong. The guy that took power from Thomas Sankara from the 1980s. He ruled that country for years.
Oh, you are wrong. You are wrong.
Yes, that's
not correct. The person that took over, that Traoré took over for, was actually his friend.
No, that's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not wrong. That's not what I'm saying.
Traore did not take over from
No,
a person
oh my
as
God, let me talk. Oh God, let me talk. Didn't you hear what I said? I said I'm trying to explain something. I didn't say it took power from him. I said when Black Compaoré took power from Thomas Sankara, he ruled that country for over a decade, close to over 20 years. And during that period, it did not make any impact on that country. He was a puppet of France. Burkina Faso had very good diplomatic alliance with France and many Western countries, including the United States. And at that time, this man did not implement any policy to develop Burkina Faso. He was a puppet. Now, after the ousting of Gaddafi in 2011, there were a lot of weapons that were used by jihadists that were supplied by NATO. I've talked about this so many times. I don't want to go into details. That were supplied by NATO to these jihadists. These jihadists, after they toppled Gaddafi and they destabilized Libya, a lot of them moved down south to the Sahel to cause a lot of instability, all in the agenda of spreading radical Islam to the Sahel. And not just Burkina Faso, Mali and Niger today, there was a military coup. So there was a military coup as a result of the instability in Burkina Faso and the high level of unemployment and poverty by Damiba, not by Thomas Sankara. It was by Damiba. I think his name is Damiba or something. I can't remember his name now. That guy took power. And when the military took power through a coup, they failed to actually topple and defeat the jihadists. In fact, the jihadists took about 50% of the land in Burkina Faso. Imagine the way Nigeria is and terrorists take over 50%. That was how this country was. Like this country, the terrorists actually took a huge chunk of that country. Then the young military officers that were under Damiba, including him, they now took power from Damiba. That was how Ibrahim Traore took power. They took power because of the necessity to restore security in that country. Because democratically elected, quote unquote, the democratically elected, the guy that took power from Sankara, he failed. And including the guy that took power from Black Compaoré, he failed completely. When this guy came to power, because we need to understand that this guy, when he took power, he recognized the legacy of Thomas Sankara. He has a very strong ideology, a Pan-African ideology, a Pan-African anti-imperialist ideology. If some of us listen to his speeches, he's always talking about the sovereignty of Burkina Faso. Burkina Faso should be sovereign, away from Western powers. Our Western powers, he's always emphasizing on how Western powers are supplying these jihadists to destabilize their country. He's always talking about it. And he's always talking. So as a result of these young officers coming to power, Ibrahim Traore being the leader of the new military junta, he had a socialist and anti-imperialist ideology. He started to form alliance with Venezuela, Nicaragua. He even went to Nicaragua, I think Nicaragua also a leftist, it's a leftist government.
Yeah, but let's try to limit it to this, otherwise we are going to run out of time.
Yeah, so the thing is, under the ideology, he started to implement radical policies. He has not completely, to be honest, like I think it was Dexter that mentioned it. He has not completely taken control of Burkina. He has not completely liberated Burkina Faso of Western influence, but he has begun the process, and they are making a lot of progress. So now, why does the US and France, why do they want to topple Ibrahim Traore? Number one, they need access to Burkina Faso's resources. They need to continue to have access to Burkina Faso's resources. What he has done, he has implemented a lot of socialist policies to benefit the people and to develop the country. He implemented free education for the people of Burkina Faso up until secondary school. Even tertiary education, he has removed, he has subsidized tertiary education. He has actually implemented tomato processing plants so that they can be able to manufacture their own food. He has boosted agricultural productivity by bringing in tractors. And even the security situation now is getting better. They've not completely defeated the jihadists, but they are getting better. They are now taking over territories. They are capturing back their territories already, slowly, with the help of Mali and Niger. Now, he's now having alliance with Russia and China, and he has nationalized their gold mine. That's very important. Burkina Faso has a huge, rich gold mine. This gold mine, he has now, as the head of state of Burkina Faso, he ensured that the gold mines in Burkina Faso are nationalized. That was where he completely crossed the red line. Now, with everything, with the geopolitics going on between the US, Russia, and China, where you have the BRICS, where they're trying to break away from the dollar. And if we know the background of the dollar, we see that the dollar was initially tied with gold. Then eventually under Nixon, the dollar is now removed from gold and it's now used as like kind of the universal currency. Now, the value of the dollar is now depreciating because of the influence of BRICS. Now, one of the major options or one of the major possibilities why they want to take out Traore is they need to take control of the gold mine of Burkina Faso, which can then be used to increase the value of the dollar and can be equated with the dollar again. That's what I think they are trying to do. That's number one. Number two, with the Cold War going on, they are trying to reduce the influence of Russia and China in Africa. And they are seeing Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger as a red spot that Russia and China will be able to have huge influence. So currently, Trump has his hands tied because he cannot stop the war in Ukraine. And China, at the same time, they're having huge influence in Africa. The tariff war is not winning it. So they're trying to find the alternative so as to ensure that they restore back the value of the dollar. So now they have to go after Burkina Faso. So that's the background. And this has played out before with Muammar Gaddafi, with Patrice Lumumba. We saw what happened with Muammar Gaddafi, Patrice Lumumba, Thomas Sankara, Kwame Nkrumah. That's the same playbook they are using.
I hear what you are saying about this leader in terms of education, in terms of nationalizing some of the natural resources of the country. But I've not seen. For me, their greatest achievement is the Sahel Defense Pact that they have right now. But apart from that, I don't know. Maybe I'm under the Western cloak in terms of news that is not filtering through enough.
Very obviously.
Oh, look at that. You just try. I've already owed up to it. There's no need to reinforce it. So the point was that, so I'm under the Western influence, so I'm not hearing clearly what is going on in Burkina Faso. But that said, I would like to know whether their security posture has significantly shifted. One, their the way they are building stuff. Like I like the fact that he's building, I think, 5,000 miles of road or kilometers of road instead of the
20,000. It's really implementing a lot of
how fast are these things coming along? Because that should tell you something about whether this person truly means business. The fact that he refused to take off his uniform is concerning me, that he wants to hold on, because even the Gabon leader that was military, that is supposed to be a stooge of the French, is taking his uniform off to go and contest election, and he's probably going to win the election. I don't know why these are West African leaders. They just want to wear their uniform forever. So
Jide, sorry, please. Can I answer this question to forefathers?
Can I speak and then I go? I
was just going to say that.
Can I speak and then I go to sleep? I've had enough. So forefathers. So of all the things Jide talked about, is the uniform that is causing your concern. Sorry.
Don't start the fight with me now. Let me alone, Johnny. I didn't focus on the uniform alone. I talked about other things.
So, and you're asking how fast they're going, and you don't know what they're fighting for. The guy is fighting for the independence of his people. I think that is as plain as anything. Okay, and then it's so really.
See, Sankara was doing the same thing.
Forefathers. Sorry, let me just quickly jump in. Forefathers. I think the most fundamental thing that you should take home from all that Jide has said and all the things that are going around, for me, given your posture on security, my understanding of your stance was that our leaders have a major problem. They don't secure themselves first. Because you as a leader, if you are not secured, then how do you go about securing the country?
Exactly.
It's you that made me. I used to be a big fan of Murtala. But after listening to you for a while, I go back and look at the man, and I started questioning why you would be insulting America publicly. and then you go about your business without security around you. That's not very smart.
Exactly.
Okay, so this guy that you are suggesting that you should go and take a Babariga, because the Western people have made us to believe that democracy is the best. Don't you think that it's one of the wait, forefathers? Just after this, I'll just land. It's just 2 sentences. In my opinion, okay, the idea that he should prioritize getting into a Babariga just to look as if he's in a democracy, I think you are now talking from both sides of your mouth. Because being a military person at this point, given the number even of coups,
revolutionary,
it's very clear people want to take him out.
He's a revolutionary, yeah.
Yeah, so this idea that you should go and be looking for Babariga, I think you are not telling us the true position of where.
Yeah, so I need to talk about the security. So
calm down. You're gonna go. I know. I'm gonna let you finish. The reason why I make that point is not flippantly. I've looked at leaders that have emerged all around the world. They didn't need to wear the uniform to do all those things that they did.
Give me an example.
You've forgotten something.
I don't think Mao Zedong was a military leader.
Yeah, but they are still fighting a war, forefathers.
Neither do I think Stalin was a military leader when he passed. Neither was Lin Kuan Yew, if I'm not mistaken. So all these people that have gone on to transform their nations, they don't need to be military leaders.
But Stalin he didn't look like a civilian, though. He didn't dress like a civilian.
At first, it does look like a military man, but he wasn't. I think he was a military person. He was in the military before, but when
but it wasn't like a democratic, like the typical.
He was a civilian. No. He left the military before that.
For you to balance your view, forefather, you need to look at the military people that have removed their military gown and put Babariga. A good example is this guy in Congo. What is now this guy that stayed there for a long time? Mobutu. Because these are the things. This is how you should do balance analysis. The guy has taken his uniform, has put in Babariga. What did he do for Congo?
No, Kagame did something.
Putting Babariga has nothing to do with good leadership. I
from what I'm saying is that it's a signal. It tells you something that about the mindset.
Tells you nothing. The man wears Babariga and plunder his country.
Forefathers, let me explain why this thing about democracy is not going to work in a current situation like Burkina Faso. So you need to understand that. You see, as a leader of a country like Burkina Faso or Nigeria, if you are trying to be anti-imperialist and you're trying to be democratic, you can't be democratic. That's why you see that a lot of anti-imperialist leaders are hardly democratic. Tell me which one is like Tinubu, which of our leaders? You know why? I'm trying to explain.
I gave a lot of examples, and these examples, if they are real, it should tell you something about what it's actually.
Stalin was repressive. Yeah, I'm trying to explain.
And how many of these leaders that transform nations were military? Give us one.
No, what I'm trying to say is what I'm trying to see. This is what I'm trying to see. What I'm trying to say is that all these leaders, including Stalin, Lee Kuan Yew,
and all of them have military background. That is the trick. They all have military background. Then they became civilians. Even if I'm not mistaken, even George Washington of the US, they all had military background. Then they became civilians and ruled. And they did very good job.
Yeah, but Burkina Faso is currently fighting a war. We've forgotten that. About 30% of that land is still being taken by jihadists. They're still fighting a war. We should not forget that.
How did our go on do? How did the go on do?
Yeah, even go on. Even when we didn't
fight. It's quite remarkable, though. It's quite remarkable that by coincidence, somehow, Stalin, George Washington, Lin Kuan Yew, all these people had military background. They all became civilian, and they all did spectacular things for their nations. It's quite fascinating.
But they didn't implement liberal democracy, forefathers. They didn't implement liberal democracy.
I'm not talking about liberal democracy. I'm saying that he just take the gap up. He doesn't need to wear it.
Even if he does not wear it and he's still repressive, what difference does that
make? Because remember, people have to trade with that nation. In the world today, when other people know this already, they will feel like if you are a military man, you are not necessarily about rule of business law and other kind of thing that you
Well,
can
but our
arbitrarily do anything anytime. There's no civil
No,
law.
hold on, Jide, forefather. You know, I think you're contradicting yourself, and a lot of your fans will be very, very disappointed with the way you're going with this and dragging this uniform thing and all that. Let me ask you a question. Would you prefer to live in UAE and have the dictatorship there, or in democracy in Nigeria? Choose one.
Make no mistake, I'll prefer UAE. And the point I'm making
He's living with the queen already.
So no, that was
look at
just the
look at
question.
What,
Let me ask you.
what
So,
kind of wahala is this one now? What
no,
I'm not putting the uniform above the well-being of the people. I'm just saying it's a
okay, is it possible that he can not wear the uniform anymore and just wear Babariga, but just be a dictator? You know, because see, my solution for Nigerian leadership has always been a benevolent dictator. I've said it here over and over again.
I agree 100%.
I don't believe, and that dictator can come from Benue State. He can come from Sokoto State. He just needs someone.
That forefathers keep talking about. It's on record. He's a dictator.
So let me tell you,
exactly.
the nations. Hold on.
He should not be a dictator. I'm just saying that why do they?
No, what you're trying to do is. Why are you worried about how he dresses? He can wear boxers for all I care. You know, every day. What's my problem? Once the people are eating,
hold on now. Let me try to explain to you why I'm saying this. It betrays something about what is going on inside. I remember there was a case, there was a video somebody played about Nnamdi Azikiwe when they were blackmailing him. This is why people were talking about how they blackmailing Nnamdi Azikiwe. That's after the blackmailing, some of the things he were asking for tells you everything. He was talking about how he's going to wear some, if it is true, I'm not going to believe him. What he's going to wear, the kind of ornament he's going to wear in his jacket, that whether they are going to give him that one. He's not a military guy, but he wants to wear that thing to make himself look like somebody with authority. It's like that.
My dear brother, the question is the average Burkinabe happy? Do they feel that their life is being improved? You know, look, nobody, if Tinubu wants to rule forever and he can make things better in Nigeria, I will even join APC and make him top 10 president. The problem we have is that these people are not patriotic. Have you ever, the simple question that everybody should answer is that guy patriotic? Does he love Burkina Faso above other countries? Look, never get this wrong. Burkina Faso is like a local government in Nigeria. You know, it's not like a strong. And when people are talking about power and all that, I see someone was commenting that, one local government, governor is going to build 5,000 kilometers of road in Nigeria. And when people speak like this, then you understand that's why people like them, they will collect 5,000 naira and vote for Tinubu. You know, this is the country that I said on record has about 2,000 to 3,000 kilometers of road, paved road, and someone is going to build double of that. And somebody is in comment section trying to compare him to a Nigerian. You see, you know, I understand that we're all having this conversation. You know, look, IQ is not the same. I'm not trying to insult anybody, but, you know, look, the simple thing is that this guy is very patriotic. He loves Burkina Faso. If he wants, let him wear rags. Let him wear, you know, why are you even fascinated now by these Oyibo dresses we're wearing? I thought you are a cultural, traditional guy. You know,
but my point is that,
hold on. If this guy
leaders,
organizes
even our
an
own
election,
traditional leaders, sorry, Odi.
Hold on, let me just land on this point, then you continue. If this guy conducts an election, how are you sure he will even win? When France brings those people from Ivory Coast and they come in, are you serious? Burkina Faso is not Nigeria.
They are going to rig a former military guy out of his own in his own country.
When France comes in and the power and bring in a lot of money and give the average Burkinabe
God bless.
Are you
They
serious?
just
Why are
need
you
to-
even saying
They
this?
just need to
Kagame
provide
gets
funding.
99% of the
They'll
vote.
fund
The
political
man is doing well. Just leave him alone. Let's
See,
speak about him so they don't kill him. That's just my point.
Why do we do this thing? How many African leaders, military leaders, have been in office for more than 10 years or so? I'm not even sure any military leader within the black countries have been in office for more than 10 years or so. Yet, Kagame, former military, retired, became a soldier, president, and he's been in office for going to 25 years now. So there's no, I just don't know why we are fascinated with uniforms. Why we want to wear it for long.
He has been in office for only about 12 years.
Fascinated with a leader's dressing.
25 years.
You are the one fascinated. You are the one raising the dressing of the president.
No, because
you're the one causing all this brouhaha. Move on.
All we are saying, and for me personally, honestly, on a very serious note, I wouldn't want to say this. I don't want to say you disappoint me because you haven't. I mean, you.
It's all right.
But no. Seriously, on a very serious note, forefathers, I was convinced in what you're saying about security.
Yes, of course.
Okay, but how do you expect this guy? Okay, the first question I will ask you: do you think that this guy is under threat as a leader?
Yes, clearly.
Okay, so do you think that his security should be the topmost consideration for him?
Yes.
Do you think that, for instance, now Nia can tell you this guy doesn't even shake hands?
He shouldn't, actually.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't.
I think our leaders should stop shaking people's
This guy,
hands.
listen to me. This guy goes about as the president with rifle all the time. Go and look at him.
Yeah.
And you, as a proponent of security, you are telling this guy to water down his status. No, my brother. Be honest with yourself.
I'm not saying he should water down his status. Some of the greatest disaster, crazy killers of all time, they were not wearing military uniform. My point is that you can still have that power. And the reason why, you see, if you want to succeed,
but it's less than 5 years in this position. So give
but he doesn't seem to. He's not aspiring to.
How do you know?
Take that. That's what
it's only 5 years. It's not less than 5 years. So this is how
forefathers.
Revolutionary.
Forefathers, do you have revolutionary experience? Do you have experience in military leadership?
No, I don't. All I have experience of is reading about what has happened in history, and the pattern is remarkably consistent. The leaders they have a military background. They transform themselves.
It takes time.
And go on, and they are dictators, but they go on to do great things.
Forefathers, leave that one that you have read. Leave that one.
It's not read. It's happened. It's already happened. You can't rewrite history. It's already happened.
Forefathers. Practical is always different from theory.
Yeah, but does it not bother you that it's so consistent in all regions of the world? Does it not bother you that all regions of the world, they show the same pattern?
Do you know what bothers me? Forefather, what bothers me the most is the number of our leaders that have been taken out and the number of attempts to even take this guy out. That's what bothers me the most. Look at Gaddafi, for instance. Look at Gaddafi. What's his crime? Look at Libya today.
Thank you. What about
the man in Egypt is being hoisted by America? You see, they took out an elected leader and put a military person.
What about Ukraine?
What are we talking about that we are bothered about? What is politics? What is all this thing?
I don't know what it is, though.
What about Zelensky? Zelensky does not dresses like as if he's in a war.
Zelensky, that one is a comedian. He's not running his country.
But the West recognizes
transforming his country. The example of the people I'm telling you are people, transformational figures that had military background. They became civilians and they did great things. Even Winston Churchill, that people respect a lot in the UK, had a military background. It's crazy consistent. I don't know why.
Forefather, this guy needs time to win his people over for him to even go into that civilian that you are talking about. Remember, their reserve, their foreign reserve, everything, currency is in France and everything. So he needs time to win the people over. Just imagine if somebody like Ngige were to stay longer. Ngige was very popular for the 3 years that Ngige ruled, if not because Obi came and changed the thing. and everything. So that's exactly what he's doing. You understand? And the big threat with this Russian and American thing is a proxy war. You understand? So the guy already has become the black sheep of the global West. You understand? Put together, he's already a black sheep. If not because of France with America, is not having so much good relationship. And this thing concerned France. That's why the guy is still enjoying. If France and America had good relationship, they would have taken that guy down. I can tell you for sure. You understand? So what the guy is doing,
I've had him talk. He has hardly said one word wrong, and I really admire the spirit that he's got.
Fathers, be mindful of
I'm
how
just
you're
worried
admiring
that
somebody
that
that took
uniform,
power through the barrel of the gun. Oh.
that uniform is betraying something that I
not
worry about. But I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. You know, I can be wrong. I'm
He
not
took
saying
power
I'm
through
right.
the barrel of the gun. That guy took power through the barrel of the gun.
That's
So
true
as
too.
much as we are seeing the good works he's doing, that's fine. But we must still recognize that that guy took power through the barrel of the gun. Down the line, the longer it stays, it never pans out to be good.
my brother, every great leader in the global West that you and I live, they are bad people. You understand? In as much as they favor little community called their own country, they are bad people. You understand? But at the end of the day, we give them review to be good people. You understand? So in our African adage, if the king palace born, as far nobody died there, there's a better palace coming.
Paul,
that's how our African adage, if a king palace born today, a modern new palace is coming. The only tragedy is that if somebody died before the palace was in fire. That's how it is. So there might be a new strategy. Look, let's tell you, you must understand everything we'll talk about history. Understand something very well. You understand? The West is our problem. So why they change their strategy? We must change new strategy to know how to deal with these people. You understand? We cannot maintain the standard that is set for us.
But it's not
We
about
cannot.
It's not about standard.
But where is even the theory?
My point here is this. This is my point. If you look historically, there's a problem with sit-tight leadership. That's the biggest problem Africa has.
But that's not true now.
That is one of the biggest problems we have.
But
it's not bad if somebody comes in, like if this guy is a revolutionary, is a transition guy, he comes, he sets up the place, he sets up a proper culture in Burkina Faso for things to run. And then he's able to get the people to the point where the people can make informed choices and the country can run on autopilot. What we have in Africa is strong men syndrome.
I think you're being carried away. Why don't you talk about Saudi Arabia? Why don't you talk about Qatar? Why don't you talk about UAE, United Arab Emirates?
Paul, why
you've been carried away.
Paul, why are you not?
You understand?
Paul, why are you not in UAE?
Okay, Russia.
Why don't you have more constellation?
Yeah, what about Russia? Yes, what about
90%. Let us tell me how many people that are on this platform here are in UAE. The point is this: you want a system.
The question is that is he working for UAE and Saudi Arabia? Yes, that is the question. If you work for them, then let us borrow from it. If he's working for them, see at the end of the day, look, he wants work with Libya. You have to understand that all African countries go to Libya to go do dirty job. You understand? The Libya citizens, they were living large. They were living okay. And it worked for them.
Let me ask you a question.
You understand?
In Saudi Arabia, does it work for the women? Does it work for the women?
So this is your Paul,
just answer my question. Does it work?
I am asking you as a Christian. You blame me. I will use question to answer question. As a Christian, God said David is the one I love. That is a man who say woman nakedness and send the husband to war front. Is God also not biased to pick that kind of person? What are you talking about? That is the one God said. This is the one by my heart. That's a man who killed 220 women just because of to marry a young girl. What are you talking about?
Stop giving me lecture. Does it work for the women in Saudi Arabia?
I just told you that he worked for David from God. He worked from David from God.
Do you have daughters?
My brother, the women in Saudi Arabia don't wash clothes. Oh. It is people from Kazakhstan, other places that wash clothes for them. Oh. The women in Africa wash clothes. So he worked for the women in Saudi Arabia. The women in Saudi Arabia don't sell pepper on the street of Ibadan and Lagos. He works for them. The women in Saudi Arabia does not hawk, does not beg, does not do what God cannot do, does not exist. They sit down and wear gold and jewelries. The women in my Africa that they work for, they hawk. They die young because they do hard job. What are you talking about?
The oligarch women or
What are you talking about?
or the average citizen?
Or is it the women in the West who hawk themselves up and down? Does it work for them and they hawk themselves up and down? What are you talking? That set men up to make money? How is it working for them? Let's play politics with this word. Let's play politics with this word. The women in the West here, you understand? They are more or less like dogs.
Let me
One
ask
woman
this
will have
time.
kids for 7 men. What are you talking about? Is it
Let me
working
ask
for
this
them?
time.
Is that culture? What are you talking
Does
about?
America work for the black Americans?
I don't understand. Let him tell me that.
Those who work for the black Americans.
Does it work for the women? Does it work for the brown women? 14 and 13% population, black women and brown women. Is it working for them?
I think OT hasn't said anything.
I think we have moved out. We have moved away from our discussion.
Yeah, we've talked about.
I think we have moved away from the focus of our discussion.
Yeah. OT, what do you make of this now? Is it that any leader that wants to do the right thing by our people will face potential elimination game where they will be trying to eliminate them every other day? It must be frustrating life to live, and you can see why Nigerians would not want to do that, and they will run to Washington, run to London and Paris to go and chill out instead of, this guy could be he could be resting. He doesn't need this hassle. He could be doing jagaban.
That's what you're suggesting.
Go and high five with
France, and
go and high five with this thing. He's going to high five with Macron.
Like for beer.
Yeah.
Ruling the country from Switzerland.
He doesn't need all this hassle.
That's what you want. Rule the country from Switzerland. Beer in his body.
Bia, was he not a military guy too at first?
So if Tinubu sees him now, Tinubu will be like, you see, they're trying to kill him all the time. Why would I do this? Wahala? Do I did it? Nobody's going to tag me for dying for their country. So is it not? Don't you see why Nigerians don't do these things?
When it was my turn to discuss talk out on the subjects that we're discussing about what was it again is well, yeah, I mean the release of Nnamdi Kanu, and what else was that? Yes, you didn't allow me to speak. Okay, and then I think there was.
I didn't allow you to speak.
So and then this thing we're talking about.
If you want to, then you can go on to say
what
you want to.
Okay, yes, okay. So again, there was something Desta said. I wanted to kind of pick on. To actually support the direction was going, because we're talking about this. I mean, discussing politicians. Somehow we ignore the people, right? Dexter's the only one that actually
was about republicanism of the Southeasterners opposed to people who.
Oh yes, I mean, Favaras came with that, and I asked him a question, so it's just it was an aside, but the what's going on in Nigeria, we thought, it was talking about the defections and all that, and somehow in this we forget the people, okay, who is doing the voting actually. Shouldn't we be more concerned with how do we, empowering sensitizing our people to understand, the role they have to play in all of this? I mean, these politicians, they are businessmen, discussing their affairs, how to capture power, but the people. So we are here. I should think that's really what should concern us most. And then, for example, in this connection, what Pat Tommy, he came up with something trying to organize a protest, sometime in December. So I'm much more interested in all this than this.
But I think people don't hear me when I say this thing. I said it before. You were saying you're going to educate the Nigerians.
Empower people, educate them, sensitize them.
Yes. I used to believe that.
But you don't anymore.
Our mistake is that the education we are thinking is not the one they need. The one they need most is understanding the value of integrity, morality, and ethical behavior.
Come on.
Let me explain why I say this.
With these fanciful ideas.
Hold on now. Hold on. Let me
behavior,
explain
morality,
why
and
I'm
all this.
saying these things. Because those people that you think they don't know what they want, they do. They are the ones helping to rig the elections. When they bribe them, they will sell. Even when they know what they are doing is wrong, they know it's even against the law, they will still do it anyway. That is what begs the question. Are you sure these people didn't do these things? I've said it before, the way the Nigerian election is structured, if the members that are representing each political party do their job properly, it's almost an impossibility to rig the election. But yet it happens, and we don't ask ourselves why. The people are participating.
And then what? So the question becomes, what do we do about it? And then of course,
I just told you they need to understand that these things,
the morality, the morals, civic education, civic, responsibility.
However, it's going to come. Either it's going to come that way, or it's going to come the forceful way that other people learnt it. Because you have to understand that your actions have consequences. It doesn't have. When people say some crimes don't have victims, actually they do. In time, if everybody repeats it, it accumulates and it creates a problem. This is why when we're growing up, our parents will be telling us, "Oh, you have to do this. You don't behave like this." Those things we never did understand truly what they meant. We didn't understand what integrity means. What do you know by integrity? Why should somebody betray, not take money when they could have that money? Why should they not take the money? The money will benefit their family. But because those people that insist on those integrity understand that if that person takes that stuff, the next person does it, everybody will be poorer for it. But we've lost sight of that. Those voters you are going to educate, they don't understand it. I'm telling you, I deal with Nigerians every day. I'm beginning to understand that aspect of Nigerians is broken.
So what do we do then? Where do we begin?
Like I said,
I can say something before I leave. OT, with the indulgence.
Okay.
Go ahead. You just discussed something, let's say the Burkina Faso crisis, right? And everybody's been chiming in. You even brought in Tinubu, but you're talking about how Tinubu would have behaved here and there. He is actually one of the culprits in the crisis. Now, I'm going to leave a movie for you so that maybe if you have time, you play 10 minutes so that it's a 10-minute video. Will tell you the juntas over there are telling you that Tinubu is one of the culprits in this stuff.
They did not allow me to explain to that point. Thank you, Pastor.
Okay. Because it's not, let me just say this in conclusion. No matter what kind of economic or political system we practice in Nigeria.
Answer, is it your turn? I don't know.
It's not my turn. I took permission from you. You wouldn't let Oti talk. So I might as well.
He's a respected this YouTuber.
But you won't let him talk.
You can't just jump. You can't just
No,
jump.
I'm not. So what I'm saying is that forefathers, no matter what kind of thing we practice, even if it's a military system, right? If it's corrupt, if it's deceitful, if we're not doing it for real, you're just gonna have a military head of state who is corrupt. Do you understand? We could do communism in Nigeria, but if we do it truly, where we have a system that people are going to adhere to, it's gonna be better than what we have now. If it's capitalism, my favorite, then it has to be done. I mean, democracy has to be done properly. So, but even you, who is condescending on the generation, you are as aloof as anybody else that I've ever known. You don't discuss.
I'm not condescending. I'm sorry. I'm just telling you from my own
experience. Thank you for the time you yielded me. I wish I was here because I wanted to admonish like I always do. Okay, because when you look at it, even the discussion, you want to tell me you don't know what I just said? We're doing everything by deceit. That's why it doesn't work. Any system, not Korea is better than Nigeria. Do we want that system?
I agree with you on that. You see,
yeah, no matter what system, any example you cite, they're better than Nigeria's because Nigeria's one is corrupt, and all of us have to do something about it. All of us. All right. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. I have to go.
How many if I ask you now, how many Nigerians that they will offer just 50,000 naira, or no, 50,000 pounds to betray? That person is going to be in charge of collating votes to betray.
Forefathers, I know where you're going, but the challenge you also have, let me put it to you, you think you're smarter than the average Nigerian. You're not. Let me tell you the challenge an average Nigerian will face.
Okay.
A typical example, if you put Atiku and Tinubu for an electoral officer, and you're telling him, okay, I'm going to give you 5 million naira to vote to either support or rig in favor of Tinubu or Atiku, who do you think is better between the two?
You mean both of them bribe and one of them bribe higher?
No, I'm saying that if you are presented with these two candidates, who is better?
No, sorry, give me the context that you are presenting both of them. Sorry, I didn't catch
Let me
that.
just put it straight to you. The challenge for an average typical Nigerian voter, he has been voting people believing that this candidate will take me to Uhuru. And every time he gets disappointed. So in the end, there's what is called political apathy. The man believes that, oh, look, we even on this platform, that's how we talk. We say politicians, meaning that they are all the same. So for an average, not too well-educated Nigerian, he believes that, look, I'm in a bad place. I'm between the devil and the deep blue sea. I can tell you that these people, if they see...
do you think they think of someone like Showore like that?
It's out of the question. I'm telling you, for most
no, if they are saying that they are gravitating,
it's not serious.
Sorry, I was hoping that he was going to truly give me something, because I really don't like all Nigerians what I'm saying.
Okay, so let me tell you this. Let me tell you
the context.
Okay, let me tell you. If you take, for instance, I know people may not like it, but I am convinced in what I'm saying. Buhari only came to power simply because the masses believed that this man will bring a change. What happened during Buhari's time? People were bribing people. There was a slogan, when they bribe you, collect the money. But when you go and vote your conscience. But in the end, did Buhari satisfy the desire of the people?
Not necessarily.
Exactly. So tomorrow when somebody comes now, like you're as a person here in Nigeria, you're like, look, they're all the same. Political apathy is a real issue.
But what you are saying is making my point to an extent, that they have been so jaded, they now believe that this way of doing things is the way it should be. That is the pattern I see on the ground.
Look, they know better. My position is that, look, really, if you have proper candidates, I like Showore.
Showore is a proper candidate. If they were so keen on somebody that has not shown any sense of corruption, that truly his whole campaign is against corruption, then you would think, if what I'm saying is wrong, they will gravitate straight to Showore.
They have this mindset with Showore that is like you are wasting your vote. That is the mindset. Many people are not politically inclined like you. So people want to vote on the big wins. That's the mindset that they have. That voting for Showore won't count, won't go anywhere. So let's just leave that off the thing.
Sure that Showore is not corrupt. Why are you
look
sure
at that? He's already accusing Showore because he's jaded by Nigerian politicians. This is my point.
As an average Nigerian, what is his track record that is not corrupt?
Oh, look at that. You are making the same point that I'm making. I just told you that is my point, and you are saying I'm wrong. You are coming 360 to make the point I'm making, that there's something broken in the way Nigerians perceive reality now. It's about getting ahead. Everybody wants to get ahead.
No.
Without any restraint on it. It doesn't matter what they have to give to get ahead.
Look, I think
But Fofara, when you talk this corruption thing in America, they are more corrupt than Nigeria in terms of politicians. Politicians, this type of bribe.
See, they have restraint. They have a level of morality. They have a level of integrity in between, and because of those things, they put checks and balances on themselves just to make sure they don't get out of control. but we don't have a lot of time left. They told me that we have 4 minutes left.
Okay,
so I'll give it to our honorable guest that we never gave any chance to speak. We have to give him a chance to speak. This guy has a channel. We can't be treating specialists like this.
No, hold on. Before he goes, let me 2 points. Okay. Now, you're talking about corruption and the hopelessness and all that. So I just give you 2 examples. Well, if you like, take them as questions. Okay. We had the case of Abia State. Okay. One Professor Oti and what the Abia electorates, what they did, right? And of course, we know about the slogan. We know they give shishi. So when you're talking about, it's all about bribery. People
they give shishi. They give shishi, even if they say
no, sorry, excuse me.
Shishi was flying around.
No. Okay. But at least hold on, listen. But at least we know of a case where somebody, an officer, a Nigerian, did not succumb. Okay, are you with me? And then they did the right thing. So it's perhaps one instance, but we can have more of such cases, and then the difference will be we can make the difference. So
Oti,
sorry,
pardon me. Can I say something?
No, let's let Ovie speak first.
1 minute.
No, I'm sorry,
okay,
we don't have a lot
I just wanted to chip in with something.
Then after when we finish our time, then we can just use that remaining Jara minutes to talk about these things. Ovie, please go ahead. We don't want to leave you out because you've been here waiting patiently for a long time. Welcome.
Thank you. Assalamu alaikum. Where should I go to? You guys.
You can go to Sierra Leone. That's Burkina Faso. Sorry. You can go to Tinubu. Harvesting all the governors.
Okay. For the sake of time, let me just speak to my observation so far. First of all, Mr. Alhaji Manska Rankadede. Please, I said please because as a student of Murtala Mohammed, I want to appeal to you. I want to beg you, never leave yet, right? Give us time to explain to you. You should understand that was about 15, 16 years after USAID was introduced to Nigeria. USAID was introduced to us in 1963. Now, if you put 1 or 2 together, you understand what I mean. So yes, I understand that you are concerned about the fact that he did not secure himself very well. But when the CIA had already infiltrated the Nigerian defense, what can you do? After the assassination, what took place after that, we also, if you put 1 or 2 together, you understand, because that was the heat of trying to push Nigeria away from regional governance to presidential
Murtala himself retired about 100,000 soldiers. And he was left without security.
Don't listen to forefathers. Ignore him.
I just want to make me. So yes, my mascot. Now that's the last nationalist Nigeria has had. Since that time, we never get somebody who's actually had the audacity to say, you know what, we can stand out on our own. The West, pretty much that's what he did. Yes, he paid the ultimate price for it. And there's a reason why is that, we hear this in our media, right? Regardless of what the guy actually did within that short period where the guy did power. Now, I think in that of Ivory Coast, I want to lead towards just somebody that was saying that.
Just to add to what you said on our politics, he's still the greatest Nigerian head of state that we've ever had, Murtala Mohammed. Go and check what happened after his death. But
because he died young, you don't even wait for him to serve 5 years.
He should have protected himself.
Because when he made a kind of catastrophic mistake, man, come on, man. And I must say he was brave. He said some brave things, but he didn't act.
Oh my God!
He spoke. If you are trying to West, you should be ready.
No, all this one now. Just they follow the propaganda that is coming out of Burkina Faso. Allow me talk now.
I like about Tinubu. That guy doesn't play with security. Carry on.
Wow.
They say whatever I like. That guy, his convoy is more than 100 cars each time. He doesn't play around with security. That's the guy that is conscious, that knows what he's playing.
Please let me just there's something that my brother Oti said about Nena, Professor Nena Oti, who was instrumental to the victory of Oti, the governor of Abia State. I just wanted to say something here that is very striking. Professor Oti does not go to her office because she's been receiving threats. She can't go. She is always watching her back just because she did the right thing. Now, I want to ask, if you have a system where someone who does the right thing, faces this kind of consequence, do you think that if given that same opportunity with the kind of threat that she's facing, and nobody is protecting her, she has to arrange for her own protection just because she loved her country and she did the right thing? Do you think that anyone, who knows the situation she's going to want to, give herself out to do the same thing that Oti did?
Exactly.
Is that question directed at me?
No. I'm not asking a question now. I'm just saying, because you mentioned. I'm saying
challenges we have.
This is one of the reasons why it's difficult for things to change in Nigeria.
Oh yes,
and that's the reason why people are finding it very difficult to offer themselves, to speak and do the right thing.
That's right. That's correct.
Gentlemen, I
Yes, just like as I offer, I was meant to speak, and you interrupted me. What's the difference between you and your leaders? What's the difference?
On politics, I think you want to listen tonight. That's okay. Sometimes
No, I'm listening, but when he's blaming our leaders, right? It's sad, right? It's sad. Talking about my observation, the fact that Tunanja was talking about how genius Tinubu is, I agree with him. Why? Because if we listen to ourselves, including me, if we listen to ourselves very well and put our minds together, we still get like 3 years before the next election. But we don't start campaign. How that happen? That is the genius of Bola Ahmed Tinubu. The fact that 9 out of 10 people where they come here agree that election was rigged, and we know we are demoralized. We no go take part of the other election again. I say, shut up. You are not in position to determine which election you could take part in. Look at us. We went from complaining election was rigged straight to analyzing Tinubu's strategy. From then, election. And guess what? We go come here, have the audacity to blame the Nigerian people. What do you want them to do? They are following our example because they are replicating what we talk about here. You not organize, you not mobilize, you not do anything. But you come here to blame the Nigerian people. What do you want them to do? Like, let's be serious. I'm saying this because we they blame people, right? But we they always forget ourselves. What have we contributed since that day when they lost election, when they say they rig the elections now? What have we done? When they ask people, they say Bola Tinubu no go win. I say, who go win? Nobody can say, now this person go win. You know why? Because nobody is actually doing anything to win. We are focused on what Tinubu is doing. If they use us, they strategize his next move. Coalition they gather to stop it will be momentum. We couldn't even see that. So we go complain. In the next few months from now, the next stage now to the insult people. I will not go send money to Nigeria again. If you not vote for you, I stupid. That's now us did that. But guess what? We know they see that as part of the problem or the major problem. We blame innocent people. I say innocent because compared to the advantage that we are enjoying in terms of information, I mean, what are we doing with that? Maybe we are not consuming the right information.
One thing I'll give you credit for that you've always said, it's a shame sometimes you go in a tangent with other areas, but you've always talked about it's one thing to complain, it's another thing to strategize, to prepare for the next election. And that was more than 2 years ago you were talking about this, and you can see that not much has been done to strategize to beat this guy. Even the political parties can't be asked. Instead, they are busy joining this thing that is going on. So that's why I think that point is well made, and I have to give you credit for that. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining us. We have to close out for now. OT, it's a shame he didn't speak for long. I do enjoy OT's exchanges. You should be coming earlier so that we have a lot of this in exchange. You like to question people, serious questions all the time. And Jide, I thank you for bringing in the geopolitical aspects into this conversation. It's a shame we don't have longer sessions. We are going to be having them when all these tensions and election periods start heating up. It's going to we're going to start having longer sessions. And as always, Tony, thank you for joining us here. I really appreciate you all. And Dexter, as always, with your hand on your jaw, like America, America tire you. Why is it that you always like this? America, I'm tired of. Are you in America? If I may ask, you don't have to say, Dexter. Oh, you're not in the US. Okay. Wherever you are, it seems like that place don't tire you. Or is it Nigeria? I don't know. Your heart is always like this.
And where is Jide with the fan? I'm just wondering. Jide
I'm in the US.
Jide is there. So
it is that hot in America? No?
Let me greet some of the people in the chat.
Yeah, it's warm now. It's warm right now in the East.
Can I greet the people in the chat? AB, I see you there. Nigerman, J. Shahif. Jay Sharif has joined us, and he's joined the queue of people that like to insult me. It's all good. You are welcome. Jaja, even you say I don't get sense. Yeah, me, I see you there. Where is it? DeBerry. New names are showing up. Or people that used to insult me for changing their names so they look new. But it's all right. Crush Con You. I've never seen that one before. Thank you for joining us. Who else is there? Tina Edokpai, I see you there. Bami, I see you there. Chibike Echendo, I see you there too. Adama, I see you there. Adama is telling me that we'll have 6 minutes. That was 10 minutes ago. Typical Nigerians, always late. New Hoibe, thank you for joining us, New Hoibe. New names are popping up here. I really appreciate you guys for joining us. And remember to like, share, and subscribe. And also, dip your hand in your pocket and share with Dr. Damages, because the more you do that, the more he's able to do more work for Nigerians. Hopefully, we'll be able to contribute even on the ground. Like Ovie said, it's always good to talk, but it's also better to actually act, to make the change that we all want to see. Thank you all for joining us. Till next time, we are going to catch you again. Bye, all.
Okay, do unto others before they do unto you. Shut! If you forget anything, but don't forget to do your own back. I don't tell you. Let them talk. No send their papa, even their mama. In everything you do in this life, no allow them kill you. Justice no day Nigeria. You know day. Nobody knows tomorrow. Ajay, tomorrow is Sunday. Come on, doesn't exist. Do your own back. Do them now. If the finger that fits you fuck up, bite down. Another one go come. Forgive and forget, care. Even Lucifer collect. No forgive. 99 days for the thief, 1 day for the owner. I be go and your part.